Hey, Nathan here, helping you become a better jungler. Welcome to my Season 11 Diana guide. As always, this is going to be a very extensive guide. Plenty of examples, teaching you the fundamentals how to play Diana. Sharing my experience with learning Diana. When I made this guide, I literally started from scratch. Hadn't played her at all, so this is going to be a very raw guide. So Diana's picked up a lot of popularity, especially in pro play, recent meta. You see her like all the time now. This started in patch 11.8, where Riot made it so then she can clear jungle camps, transitioning from a solo laner to pretty much mainly a jungler now that we see. So let's get started. Let's learn Diana. Okay, so starting off with the core fundamental of Diana, this QE combo. Simply put, if this didn't exist, Diana would be a terrible champion. This is the champion. It's the way you do damage. It's the kill threat, your clear speed, how you clear your jungle camps, move around the map, mobility, escape, and complements your ult very well. Your mindset is to keep your E off cooldown as much as possible. Once you shift your mindset away from E is just like a good gap closer to actually E is not really useful unless I hit Q, it helps you really understand the way this champion works. It does take time to consistently hit it. I didn't really grasp this for like 5 to 10 games. I was just throwing E here and there off cooldown, just doing no damage. And I was actually like, this champion, I just don't want to like learn this. I thought that the Q was really hard to hit, but it actually isn't. Once you get the grasp of it, it's really easy. I was viewing the Q as like a leasing Q. Dyna Q is much easier to hit. It's a little bit tricky to like grasp, like it's like a little curve, but it's actually relatively easy to hit, much easier than leasing Q. So let's look at an explanation of around how the QE combo works. So very simply put, the way it works is you throw your Q, you press your E, and it resets your E cooldown. The reason it works like this is that when you throw your Q, it applies what looks like an animation, looks like a moonlight, as we can see here, this white thing, white and gray, blue, I guess. And then you press your E, and then it will reset. So any target that you E that doesn't have this moonlight shining on them will make your E cooldown, it won't reset the cooldown, it'll be 22 seconds, level 1, which is very, very long. The next core fundamental here is when you throw your Q, you can actually E before the Q lands and it will still reset. So this is very important for stationary targets, especially when you move around your jungle camps. We'll get into that later in the guide. But this is very important, very unique. This is pretty much the only mechanic like this. Diana is the only champ in the game that has this. So as we can see here, I'll throw my Q and E, and the E dash will land before my Q hits, but it will still reset. So this is also very important. This is what happens. This is where you can do really fast combos with Diana. So obviously there's going to be many uses for this double E. You can get onto another target like this, like that. Core fundamental of Diana, once we really understand this concept, once we really try and not have our E on cooldown, Diana becomes a very, very good champion. As we can see here, I E to target without moonlight and my E is on a 22-second cooldown. Okay, so following on from that, we're going to show you how not to play Diana. So this is going to be what happens in your first 10, 15 games. This is part of the learning process. This is what happens when I started playing Diana. All these clips, these 22 examples, are basically my first 10, 15 games, showing you the consequences of not using this combo. Sometimes in my mind, I was thinking the Q is really hard to hit. I was holding it too much. Plenty of examples here. So this is everything not how to play Diana. So let's take a look. This is going to be pretty funny looking at how bad my Diana gameplay was when I first started. But this is going to be the reality of, you know, Qs, how it affects your Rs. It's just a mess if you don't get this combo down and don't fully get it and muscle memory is not there. This is what it's going to look like. So let's jump in. Okay, so first is the most simple example here. Just simply not doing your QE combo, having to burn flash early. As we can see there, I didn't throw my Q, my E's on a super long cooldown. Now I need to flash where I could have had a double E. I actually did approach this gank correctly because I'm waiting for him to sort of use his abilities, his E or let's say a flash or something to then throw my Q, but I just refused to throw my Q because again, I'm super unconfident in it. And also, I just thought I did like lots of damage with the E, but E does no damage. Like you have to hit your Q, guys. That's why I say Q is so important to hit. I could have easily thrown the Q there, did the super fast QE combo and killed him, But as this is the consequence. And this is so bad. Like having flash for Dyna increases your kill threat so much, especially on those early ganks. Next example here, as you can see in the jungle, my E is on cooldown. So all I've been doing is clearing my camps. And because I didn't do the QE combo correctly on the camps, my E is on cooldown. And let's show the consequence. I'm looking to go to a fight. And as we can see here, I don't have my E to jump over the wall like I'm spamming. I was like, where's my E? Oh, it's on cooldown because I didn't do the QE combo. Again, super simple stuff. And this is just a mess. Now I can hit the blast cone and then I'd start it. A mess. Again, this is what my first couple of games look like. Next one here is I'm going to die because I don't do my QE combo. As we can see here, I do E onto the Karma. My E resets. But if I had a second E, I could E to the Lee Sin here behind him and I would survive here. But now I'm just walking up here and then I'm just dead. Again, E is very important for the way you escape as well. Next example here is not holding for the second Q combo. So this is also really important as well. So as we can see here, I do the QE combo initially there. And then I ult. And then I could have easily just waited for my Q. It's on a little bit of a cooldown, but then I Q there as well, right? So and then I missed my Q. This is just an absolute mess. The other thing as well, I'll talk a little bit later in the guide. I mean, we're sort of going to the ult usage here as well. But you don't just mash all your buttons because you want to get your attack speed, especially in the early game for early fights like this where you can't just one-shot people. You want to space out your abilities a little bit to utilize the passive of Diana. And the passive increases attack speed every time you use an ability. The other thing as well is that I should hold my R a little bit as well here. Because you don't just insta-use it like this. Like wait for them to walk up a little bit more and then you can like suck them in. So you don't just want to spam your R on them. Wait for them to walk out a little bit, suck them in, and that gives you more time to auto-attack them. So again, these are all really good examples of how not to play Diana. So this is an absolute mess. Next example here is I'm unconfident in hitting Q, which means that I have to waste my R. So I could have easily just Rocketbelt Q'd on this guy, but then I use my R and then there you go. You know, R's are pretty, it's a short cooldown, but not that short. Especially in the early game. Next here is just I'm unconfident in hitting my Q. And then I just shocking Q. I'm trying to like Q after. So next one here is hitting double R. So sometimes you can just walk up a little bit forward and then your mindset needs to be hitting multiple targets with your R, but I just go for a one target here. So I could have easily walked up a little bit and then altered both of them at the same time, but I just go do it on Elise. I do flash here and Trinity cleans them up. I guess I'm lucky I'd flash there, but same principle applies here. This one is just straight up just missing Q. This is the easiest kill in the history of League of Legends, especially with Diana. But then I like walk up and I compensate, I Rocketbelt. I'm like, wait, even if I ult there, I can't kill her. She has repel and then her teammates are there. Next one here is, again, not hitting Q. So my E's on cooldown. If I hit it through a QE, I mean, it's probably going to be a little bit hard to hit on Ezreal, sure. But premise still applies. And then now I miss my ult and everything versus I could have had another E to hit that ult. So missing Q affects your R as well. Next one here is I'm holding Q too much and just a bad R. So just pay attention. My character's here. My character's here. I have Rocketbelt, and then I just really bad R there, and then I do throw I do the QE combo eventually, but again, it's like walking up here, just waste of R, and then I guess that QE combo is, but sometimes you hold Q too much. Sometimes that's a mindset, like you're scared to miss it. I really was when I started playing Diana, but just throw that thing, hit the E. Alright, next thing here is could have gotten a 3-man R, but just missing Q. As we can see here, and Fiora's engaging on us. Throw a super bad Q there. I mean, I could have easily just waited here, waited for a QE, and then could have, I could have E and Rocketbelt on these guys even without my E as well, and got a 3-man ult there. So I sort of just get carried this fight. Rocketbelt away. But when you miss your Q, you just have such little options. That's what I want to emphasize in here. All right, next one here is, this is early game as well. I mean, I literally lost the game from this play. I knew Nidalee was going to be on my blue and then she's going to do Grump after. So I do something, this is very unique. I wouldn't really do this. This is just because a unique situation. I wouldn't do this in most games. But I want to go and fight Nidalee because I know that level 2 QE red with Dinah, you're actually pretty strong, especially against Nidalee. If I threw a QE here, she's going to be dead. Especially I would have stacked up Conqueror so quickly. And that we basically lose the fight now because of that. So really important to hit that Q. Don't just E. And then we just get slaughtered here. And if I could have held my Q there to QE over the wall to kill Samira there as well. So, as we can see here, like, even if I just walk up and even if I trade flash for a Q is better, like me just throwing E like this does nothing. Like, I'm so close to her anyway, I can just walk up to her and just probably auto attack her. So really, really, really bad. Just not throwing that Q. You don't just want to start with an E, especially in the early game. We'll talk about some examples where you can start with E in our next segment, how to play Dinah correctly, but I just want to show you some examples of that. All right, so next one here is I throw EQ. So this is good. I'm holding that. And then I could have easily E'd him for some more attack speed and Conqueror stacks here to get the E reset, but I don't for some reason. And then I E. You see there, I could have waited for my Q. My Q was just about to be on cooldown, and now my E's off cooldown. And then I have to flash. And I wouldn't have had to flash there. Same thing if I just hit that Q. If I just waited a little bit for my Q and then did then did my E. Next thing here, it's really important to be thinking about CC of your team to throw your Q so you can get that 100% Q off. He ults and I just E in. It's the easiest Q to hit, but I just refuse to throw Q because I'm so unconfident in hitting it when I start playing. So that was a free kill. Absolutely free kill with flash as well and red smite. This is me, again, unconfident in hitting Q, which forces me to burn my flash. So here, I'm like, oh, cool. You know, I could have easily just thrown my Q here, but then I throw my E and then I don't have my double Q. I flash R instead of just, I didn't have to flash there. Super simple. Exact same result, save flash. Next one here is sloppy Q usage. So I just throw out the Q just randomly and then I walk up and E now. Like again, I don't have my double Q, my double E. And if I had my double E, I would have survived here. I actually did think I had my double E. See here, I could have jumped to my raptor camp. Oh, that actually cut off there. But I actually do die here where I don't have E and then I throw my Q and I'm like, wait, I don't have E. And I could have used it as an escape tool there. Next one here is not patient with R at all. And I just sort of a bit of a sloppy Q. And then he just E's away. You're going to be really thinking about their gap closes. Again, E'ing onto a target, especially with gap closes, it's so obvious that you're just going to ult. They're going to just E away, you know? So that's really sloppy there as well. This is an example of just how bad your R is going to be when you start playing Diana. You're just going to miscalculate the range. I thought she was running into me, and then I E, and then I don't have my QE combo. Just an absolute mess. And then I just die there. If Morgana didn't hit that Q, we would have, she would have got away there. Next one here is no patience on R. So we're sitting here doing dragon. I think this is our dragon soul. So the way that you want, I mean, I have stopwatch as well, right? So all I need to, just ult in one Xin Zhao doesn't mean anything. You want to be getting multiple Rs. So I just E onto him. Like I should have just sat back, waited for Echo and stuff to commit, and then I can R. So you got to be sometimes patient with your R as well. Especially with Kai'Sa there as well. I should have just waited and held it. Just ult in one Xin Zhao means nothing. The more people you hit, the more damage you do. Next thing here is poor E usage. I just E onto a target. E does no damage, guys. Okay, so what I should have done here is just walked up and started attacking him. He's walking into me anyway. Great, now my E's on cooldown. All my options are way more limited here. Oh, wow, I could have just Q and E'd him, but now I'm flashing because I feel the need to do this. I'm pretty lucky I got that kill anyway, and then we clean up. But the amount of times you're going to have to waste your flash for not doing the QE combo is just going to be massive. So you end up winning this play, but super sloppy. You want to do very clean, beautiful QE combos with Diana. Next one here is not patient with R again. for the 10th time. I mean, it happened so many times, guys, when I was learning Diana. I'm not waiting for him to really, like, rift walk or flash. Sorry, the Kha'Zix there. E, and then now I don't have my E, and now I just get CC'd and just die. No, I don't die. Let's look at that again. So just missing Q and not patient with R. Wait, what happened to my R here again? Oh, wait. Maybe I just used it. I should have waited. I should have altered more people. Yeah, he was already dead, so I just wasted my R here for no reason. All right, last example here. So this is a key thing that we'll talk about later, but trading your R for flash mid-late game is not... You really got to track flashes as Diana, enemy flashes. It's really important. So I actually literally lose the game off this skirmish. So for some reason, do I flash when Karma there? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, like again, flash QE. This is so sloppy, guys. You don't do this. This is, again, how not to play Diana. Now, great. Now I have no double E. So now I'm just useless. I single target ult the set there. So yeah, so trading, like all in and trading for a flash. I mean, I'm lucky. I thought I actually R'd there, but I'm lucky I didn't R there. But imagine if you R'd there, she just flashes. You know, it's just really bad stuff. Let me lose this from this. Okay, so these are all examples. This is what it's probably going to look like when you start learning Diana, but this is how not to play Diana. Patience is a keyword coming up here. Got to hit that Q. You missed your Q. Your damage is gone. It's not good. So let's now learn how to play Diana correctly. Okay, so we've got another 22 examples for you. This is not just my gameplay. We have Blabber from Cloud9, an example. Some examples from Jose Diodo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He's from FlyQuest, super high up on solo queue. And a final engage, just a beautiful engage by Tarzan from the recent LPL game. So let's dive in. How to play Diana the correct way. So first clip here, I play far from perfectly. This is when I was starting to really get it, but I just want to show you highlighting just flanking with Diana. This is going to be something I'm going to talk a bit about throughout the guide, but I want to start with flanking as Diana is very good here. So as we can see, I could have easily, again, throw a QE there, but I flash because I'm unconfident. And I could have also waited it maybe a little bit longer for Nuna to walk up. Could have got a triple man ult, which would have been better. But again, just want to sort of show you flanking. So this is just how to play Diana correctly. Execution there, again, not perfect. All right, next one here is, this was one of my first good combos with Diana. So this is again when I was starting to get it. So I'm just patience. I throw my E, I hit it on there, and then I have obviously I now have a double E because I E'd the Rakan with Moonlight, and then I get a lot of people altered there. So that's good. I was pretty happy with this moment. This is like the first time like I felt like I actually did it correctly in a fight. This is a great. This is a game C9 versus Team Liquid. Great patience by Blabber here. So obviously intense situation. They're on Dragon. He's just waiting. Patience. Ease to the Dragon. Finish off Dragon. Just patience. Finishes off the Dragon. Patience. Then goes in here. 4-man ults. Beautiful stuff into Zhonya's. So this is why Zhonya's, we're going to talk again throughout the guide, is going to be a very, very key item for Diana, because it really helps you to you can ult and whilst you're Zhonya's, which is really good. You obviously got to press it beforehand, but you can get the damage off while you're Zhonya'd. Our next one here is waiting for CC to land. So as we can see here, I could have easily thrown my Q here, but I'm waiting for Karma's W to hit first, then throw the Q. Bam. I think we do end up die here. We end up die there, but again, I want to show the example. All right, so this is an example that we're going to cover this a little bit more. We talked a lot about the QE combo, but sometimes you don't always need to do the double E. If you know you can just kill someone, you understand your damage limits. This is where Champion Mastery is going to come into play. You can just one-shot, because I know this Hecarim has no flash. So come up here. I mean, obviously I have Yasuo as well, so we have the damage limits. He didn't even need to ult. We kill him. Bam. So sometimes you don't always have to do the QE combo. This is an example of you can Zhonya's and do the damage. So I press R, and then I press Zhonya's, and then my damage still goes off. And that's why it's really effective to use Zhonya's on Diana. Next one here is using the QE combo to double jump. to get to something. So I'm using it for the lease in, but I'm actually going to jump on and finish off Zoe there. So that's again why QE combo is very effective. You can double jump to people. And I just have 12 stacks of Conquer. I'm just whacking him. Here's an example of don't need to double E to kill someone. So he's obviously diving. I mean, I do attempt to throw the Q. Maybe I shouldn't even probably done that because he obviously has the Nocturne W. All right, here's an example of waiting for... This is where patience comes into play. Wait for them to use their gap closes before you use your combo. So I'm on Ezreal, waiting. I do hit that, and then I don't ult until he's E'd, because I know he's going to E. I don't want to miss that. And then, bam, this was a game-winning play. I think we actually come back and win the game from that. Really important there, patience. Here's the importance, again, sort of a flank position. I'm actually pretty lucky he actually walked in there. But there you go. Triple ult. Beautiful. So you always want to be getting that. Looking for those multiple man ults. Triple ults are amazing. This was one of my earlier skirmishes. This was quite clean. So just chill, patience, dodging abilities, then walk back up. This is good movement as well. Walking upwards. Waiting for them to come back in. Hold on. Wait for my E. See, I'm not flashing on people here, you know, guys. Wait for the Q, E. Hit it beautifully. And then I'm also holding my E here, guys, in case he jumps away. So don't just E for damage. E to jump away. E does no damage. You might as well auto-attack them. So you see how I'm not E'ing? I could have easily E'd here. But then I know that I have the damage to finish him off. But let's say if he jumped away there as well. Alright, this is excellent patience on ult. This is examples of how not we did it. This is how to do it correctly. You wait for them to clump up. So I could have easily just ulted now, but I'm waiting. Patience. Together, then ults. I mean, I guess maybe there I could have actually not thrown my next Q there and waited for my Q cooldown. No, I think I had to go finish him off there. I think that's correct. Yep. Just in case Trundle got away there with some healing. All right, here's using like the double jump, you know, using minion to jump to someone. So throw there. So the way that you do this as well is don't look at Wukong. You actually have to have your eyes on the minion you're going for so you can do the EQ combo really quickly. So my eyes right now are actually here, not on Wukong, because I'm like, this is what I'm going to use to leapfrog myself. So this is really important as well. The way your eyes move, because sometimes I would do this and I'll just miss, like, I wouldn't do the E fast enough or just straight up miss the minions. So rare E onto that minion and then walking up, and now I can use the final E for the Wukong. So I find it's really important to where your eyes go. Holding Q to wait for flash gank. So this is actually a situation where holding Q was good. I'm waiting for him to flash. So walking up. I know he has flash. That's why I'm holding my Q. And then he just doesn't flash, and then I obviously hit the Q, and then we kill him. But the mindset there is sometimes, you know, hold that Q, wait for them to flash in those type of ganks. Here's an example of just waiting for my R just a little bit. So I mean, this is obviously a pretty easy kill. It's 3v1. But I just want to show you I don't just insta-ult here. So you see how I'm just auto-attacking him a little bit? Doing an auto-attack. He runs away, then I ult to pull him back. Again, really try and utilize the range of your ultimate. Next here is just holding Q for Camille. I mean, Camille obviously has the E, so just patience. Holding. I mean, I should have probably just QE'd again. Didn't do that. But again, the mindset applies there, holding Q there. As we can see here, even the how to play, like, we're still not throwing Qs because we're a little bit inconfident. So dive execution, this is using E to escape. So just walking up here. And then throw that. I mean, I could have probably E'd to him for extra damage there and then walked back as well. But again, so sometimes, you know, use the E, save your E to hop. Like, I could have easily, you know, just walked up a little bit further, but I'm just tanking the tower, using E to escape there. So dive execution, E is important. Mobility, escape. Here's an example from Jose Diodo, not, again, showing you don't actually need E to you know, double E. So he just literally gets that kill there. And then nice, easy dive here. This is like 1500 LP on the NA server. Another example, bam, one shot. You don't dick around there. Don't need to wait for your QE. This will come from Champion Mastery. All right, so this is an example of just using the double dash, and this is really good movement as well. So walking back, insta back off again, and then come in there. So good patience there, really good ult there, waiting for them to group up. There's so many good fundamentals, tick, tick, tick there for how we play Diana in this situation. Next one here is how to use Rocketbelt and be patient on us. We're again waiting for the opportunity. Waiting. Hit that Q, doesn't go in on that E. Patience. Wait for them to use all their abilities. Patience. Then the Rocketbelt, and then bam, finds that opportunity, finds that pick. They all don't have their abilities. So really good usage of the Rocketbelt. We'll talk about builds soon, guys. And this is probably like the most perfect patience on an ult. Perfect ult. This is LPL. Tarzan. I said Tarzan there, but it's actually meant to be Tarzan. Always get them two mixed up sometimes. Stun actually steals that. Patience. There's the engage. Waiting for them to group up again. And then they clean up this fight from this, and it's really well played. So again, a couple of things there. Patience, guys, important. Trying to get those multiple ults off. QE combo hitting it is crucial, guys. You have so much more different ways to play Diana once you hit that QE. All right, guys, now let's jump into builds. Okay, so there's two really main Diana builds that you can go. The Rocketbelt build and the Nashor's Riftmaker build. So we'll sort of talk about the comparison in between these, but let's start with the Rocketbelt build. So this is what you'll see mostly from high-elo pro players. I think this is a very solid, consistent build. Specifically, really important, Diamond Plus ELO. It just complements her R very well. It sort of just complements her entire kit. You're just going in there, Rocketbelt, E, Q, Alt, Zhonya's, and then you just get Death Cap to just do insane damage. You're just there, get everyone in, one shot, just do max damage you could possibly do in the team fight. You might still die, but ideally you've done so much damage and you've made so many people flash and all that sort of stuff that the rest of the team can clean up. So the key mindset for this build is you're only really looking for a couple of great ult engages a game. This is not a build you just fight all the time. It's very much like, okay, farm, ult play. Farm, ult play. You got to pick your fights very wisely with this build. I mean, once you go in, you do all your bursts. Unless you sort of, can do some fancy things with your E, the second E that I use as escape, you're really pretty much in, and then that's basically it. You go Sork Shoes every game with this build. It's very good against good range squishy champs, especially in mobile champs like Jinx, I know, Misfortune. Once their flash is down, and this is what I talk about, tracking flashes is really important for Diana, especially getting that the ult combo off. So one controversial thing is, I say no Morellonomicon. I don't build healing reduction in this build. You would go, the Morellonomicon components. I would rather just get Death Cap. Or other AP items like Void Staff and stuff. Let other people on your team build it. I mean, you can sort of build if there's a lot of healing on the other team, but personally, I just feel I'm just not as doing as much damage as this as I can be. Just rushing that Death Cap as my next item. But yeah, if you think about it, like my mindset, the way I approach it is that you're just there to go in one shot. I mean, I guess you could sort of say it's like, you can apply all the healing reduction to everyone that you ult. But I'd rather get all that extra damage off, if that makes sense. So I don't really like building healing reduction with this build. I tested it out originally, but I just like these core items. Rocketbelt, obviously put Sork Shoes in there, Zhonya's, and Death Cap. This core items is just beautiful, complements a kit, solid, consistent. You can't go wrong with this. So runes for this build. Conqueror, there's discussion about Electric and that sort of stuff. I think Conqueror just works really well, especially, sort of like doing stuff early game. You can just stack that up so quickly as Diana with your combo. And auto attacks are pretty important. You are going to be auto attacking a lot, especially with the Nashor's Riftmaker build. But Electrocute and stuff, I never really tried it. Everyone really goes Conqueror. I think it's pretty solid, consistent. I mean, I love the Triumph. Also with this build here, always go Alacrity. I think that, I mean, you can go Tenacity if you really feel you need to, but again, if you're sitting there soaking up, getting CC, soaking up skill shots, you've probably already lost the fight, to be honest. I don't think the Tenacity is going to make that much difference. I'll rather the Alacrity, because what it does is it you can just like power farm up. Like, not a fan of Tenacity with this build. I feel like that you're just in, bam, done. And always coup de grace, again, you're just there for one shot. If you're low HP, I just don't think it complements this build and the mindset you are with this build. And then Magical Footwear, Cosmic Insight. Cosmic Insight is the rune. You have Zhonya's, you have Rocketbelt. So good for reducing the cooldown for that, and also obviously summon a spell, which will be your flash, which is a key thing. Always attack speed. You know, attack speed was really good on Diana. That's what we'll talk about the next build, but we still want it on this build here. And then just adaptive force, and then I guess you can switch this out for magic resist if you're against heavier AP team. So these are the runes for the Rocketbelt build. Here's some examples of some build paths. So I just want to talk about a little bit here. There's two builds here. So this is just the standard Rocketbelt into Zhonya's into Deathcap, and then I sort of build Lichbane and just AP items after this. And this other build here, the second example, this is where I actually sometimes skip Deathcap as my third item and go Void Staff if they start stacking magic resist. And I thought this was a really good example this game. We had Aurelia here building Wits End, Merc Treads, and then we had Zac starting to build some magic resist. I just thought that this was better, this specific game, once they have lots of magic resist. But overall, it's like 80% of the time you're going to be going the Rocketbelt into Zhonya's into Deathcap. So key things, I need you want to be buying Stopwatch, the first component of Zhonya's. It's going to win you those fights, those mid-game fights, like, you know, the 13-minute mark here, 14-minute mark, that second dragon, really important. Then the next item you're going to build is the Fiendish Codex for the CDR, and the last item is the Seekers. That's the build path for your Zhonya's. With the Rocketbelt, you can sometimes buy the Blasting Wand if you got like an awkward amount of gold, but I'd rather just go Dark Seal and the Amplifying thing, or like an Amp Tome or a Dark Seal, let's say if you've got like 900 gold. But overall, you always want to be getting this item. I pretty much always go this item first. You know, obviously building the this, I forgot what this item's called first, the 1100 gold one. And then usually, you're always pretty much going to be getting Rocketbelt, because the Magical Footwear, by the time that procs, you know, it's going to be like the 11, 12-minute mark. I mean, I got a 9-minute Rocketbelt there, 11-minute there. You're not going to really, you're going to have boots just by then. So Rocketbelt, rush first item, then obviously just upgrade your boots. You already have Magical Footwear. Then Zhonya's, then Deathcap, and then you can pretty much just build other items. I mean, maybe you could go with Banshees if you feel the need to. Actually, I don't really like Banshees. Again, no magic resist, no healing reduction in this build. Usually, you know, just avoid stuff, Lichbane. I mean, the game's usually over by this stage, so I mean, really rarely I was getting like full builders Diana. So that's the core. Those core items, and then just build damage after that. Alright, next one is the Nashor's Riftmaker build. So, this is the build that I actually started playing Diana with. The idea around this build is that attack speed complements her passive. So, this build, your mindset is you're moving a little bit more away from your ults as your key component to actually auto-attack in. So, this is a very more solo carrying, side laning build. Sort of like, I mean, this is a very similar build to Gwen as well, the Nashor's Riftmaker. It's a little bit weird. We're like, well, Nathan, why are we building not a mythic? Because obviously Riftmaker here is the mythic. This is just what you do. You just, Dashes is a really good spike here, and then once you get Riftmaker, you're just chewing through people. So this is more of like a drain tank build. It does take a long time to get online, so Zhonya's been a pretty important component. You're not getting this until like the 25-minute mark. This is a very scaling late game build. Again, that's why I said that the other build was more consistent, and I'll probably go this build maybe 20% of the time. You can go this build like every game. I feel like if you're playing lower elo, because games, you know, get taken out, go a little bit longer, and also you just have sort of freedom to just build all these items, not get punished for it. So yeah, this is definitely, I mean, if you're against heavy tanks, this is a great build, and I think this is overall, you know, a fun build as well. This is a build where you can not build Sork Shoes. You know, you can Ninja Tubs, Merc Treads, because this is a bit of a more beefier, you know, in extended fights versus just one-shot fights. Always build tier 2 boots before Nash's. We'll talk about, we don't go Magical Footwear with this build. Nash's, it's better just get the boots, because Nash's isn't really a good spike compared to like getting like Sork Shoes or your boots. Is going to be a little bit better. Nash's isn't that most, like Nash's combined with Riftmaker is what makes it so good together. Nash's alone's like pretty meh. You're pretty still squishy and you're probably still not going to be very useful. So, you know, getting the Sorceries and stuff, it makes you a little bit more useful. So you can, you know, go in and maybe one-shot people at like around level 7 or 8. So basically after these core items, you're basically building full tank after this. The healing reduction, generally, I would rather go the Thorn Mail than the Morellos, especially if you're against a heavy AD team. But the armor items you're looking to build after are Thorn Mail, Randuin's, or Frozen Heart, and Magic Resist. Abyssal Mask is a very good item on Diana. I would say if you're building Magic Resist, if you're against, you know, you want to build Magic Resist in your build, go Abyssal Mask. Spirit Visage, you know, if you got some healing, Force of Nature, yeah, these are other Magic Resist items, but I don't really build these items much. I mean, if I'm getting Magic Resist and I'm combining it with an armor item, you know, Abyssal Mask is the way to go. But very rarely I'm building, I mean, I never get to that stage of the game. It's so late game at that point. So this is the core, these 3 items. Get your boots before you build Nash's. Great stuff. So these are the runes. So we switch up from the secondary Magical Footwear Cosmic Insight to Domination. Still Conqueror. This is a build where I go Tenacity more because, again, your mindset switch. You're not in there to just one shot. And you already have plenty of attack speed from Nash's and all that sort of stuff. So Tenacity is going to help you stay in fights longer. Last Stand, you know, longer fights. Going to be really good for skirmishing. And then going for the ultimate scale like Eyeball Collection and then Ultimate Hunter. You're fighting probably a lot more with this build. Getting your ult off cooldown sooner is going to be better. So go this build for this one. Again, fighting a lot. You can take Alacrity if you're against not much CC. And then same thing, you know, attack speed because it's so good with her kit. Adaptive Force, and then you can switch out these to Magic Resist for armor if you're against heavy AP champions. Here's a build path example. So this is an example again of getting the boots. I went Sorceries this game before the Nashers. Always build this item first. Like this is a really ideal base. And Dark Seal, you know, building Dark Seal. If you can't get this on the first base, it's better to build an Amp Tome and then a Dark Seal. I probably should have put a version in like that. And then, you know, building your Riftmaker next. Always build this item next, ideally. And then we build the Zonyas. And then I was building Randuin's, I think, after this. So this is the comp that I was actually building this into. Against a Viego Aurelia. Building Randuin's was obviously very good against it. But this is also the ideal Nash's Riftmaker game. Mundo, like, melee tankier teams. I think this game as well that these guys weren't doing that well. That's why I didn't really go for Magic Resist items. I think I was playing around bot that game. I can't remember, but they were just really far behind. But then this game I should have been building. So this is where it's incorrect. I should have actually been building Abyssal Mask next. And then, I mean, maybe this is even a game where I could have gone Bramble as well for the healing reduction. Like, healing reduction against this team is pretty important. But again, just sort of just let your other teammates buy it. Yeah, so probably this game, probably better to go Bramble and then the Abyssal Mask for the bot lane. But again, I don't think they were far ahead, so I think get in the armor items. Maybe this is actually just your Randuin's Bramble into Abyssal Mask. Maybe that was a bit better. Alright, so that's for that build path there. Again, those core items, build this against tankier teams, but you can go the Nash's Riftmaker build if you're in lower elo. You just want to just straight up hard carry games. It's way more, you're not really reliant on your ult as much versus the Rocketbelt build. So this is the champion identity. I sort of view it as 2 different champions based on the builds you go. Rocketbelt, you're sort of the more primary engage. You're looking to start fights, getting picks. Team fighting's a big focus. Going on enemy backline, especially squishy targets, one-shotting them. Playing with your team members to follow up. You don't just want to go in there. Usually you don't have enough damage, and by the time people flashes, you sort of want to be around your team. And then Nash's Riftmaker is sort of a bit more the opposite. You want to sort of be the secondary gauge. You're sort of the cleanup crew. Again, view yourself sort of like a Gwen as well. Gwen's not just like engaging. It's good for skirmishing, killing tanks, side laning, late game. You can even peel for carries with this build. You're peeling, I guess, through your damage and I guess through your ult. Again, you're just going front to back, just chopping up people, killing their front line. Sort of similar to Gwen again. So this is the way that I view your champion identity. 2 different champion identities with the Rocketbelt and the Nash's Riftmaker build.
is necessary. No more lies. Embrace the night. I speak only truth.
Alright, so as we saw there, we finished that red leashless clear by 3:11. This is on patch 11.14. The other thing to note for these clears is that I'm taking the alacrity rune, not the tenacity rune, which is going to speed up your clear maybe 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds. It won't be that much. But that's why maybe if you're trying this and you're doing all these points and you're perfecting it, like Nathan, frame for frame, I'm doing it exactly the same. That might be the reason. So here are the 7 key points where it's a bit more difficult. These are the things that are going to really help speed up the clear. So the first one is obviously hitting the blast cone at 127 to get a free passive stack. The way your passive works is that 3 auto attacks, you get the passive proc, which is the cleave. Kiting camps is really important here. Kiting it to the Krugs. Smite at 450 HP. Hold Q to leash the Krugs. Only hitting the big Krug is important. You want to spread your auto attacks between all the smaller ones. Again, utilizing the passive, the cleave from Diana's passive. The Raptors is important. You don't want to just run up there and Q them. You want to like click back once and then move a little bit back and then Q and then cleave them all down. They should be just AoE down super quickly with your QW. Remember to always space out your abilities to utilize your passive. Sort of the framework that I have in my mind is ability, 1, 2, 3 auto attacks, ability. You don't always going to do this, but this is like the general like framework about how to utilize, how to keep up the attack speed from your passive. Q and E to wolves, and then the double Q, so this is highlighted in like reddish, is because this is the hardest part, is the double clear. This is where we're going to really get the huge time on our clear. So we want to do the Q, hit both the blue and the gromp in the right positioning, smite the gromp once you get them together, and we want to be sort of dragging the blue to the gromp at around 1000 HP. And this is a situation where we're going to triple E. So I'm going to talk about the triple E in the advanced combo sections, but essentially you can get like 3 E's off and sort of like hack the Moonlight sort of system. So these are the key points. Well, let's actually go for a comparison now. It's probably not that helpful for me to just explain, but if you're struggling with your clear, look at these points and make sure you're doing all these. But now let's look at a comparison of a good clear versus some mistakes that someone might make from a poor clear. So let's look at a comparison here. Okay, so if you're really struggling with your clear, do exactly what we see on the screen here. You can look at my clip, you can just download it from earlier in the guide of just with the zero commentary, showing, do a fast clear one side, my clear, and then your clear on the other, and just look at the difference of time from camp to camp and sort of just work on each component. I mean, going back into the other slide, those components that I listed, the 7 things, that's actually where you're going to be probably missing time on. But this is what you do. Just do the comparison. You get to see exactly what's going on. So here's a comparison of a fast clear versus a slow clear. I hit the blast cone, he doesn't. So I've already got an extra cleave stack, which means I'm going to be ahead. As we can see here, I'm already ahead, about 150 HP or so. So with the smite here, I smite this. He doesn't actually smite this. Don't smite this if you get a really hard leash from like a bot lane or something. But even if you get a leash just from a top lane or something, it's a weak leash. Just smite the red, leash the Q, the Krugs. So I leashed the Krugs with the Q, as you can see there. He didn't leash the Krugs with the Q until now. So as you can see here, I'm already blazing through this. I mean, I already finished the big Krug. So huge time differential on the Krugs red, just based on smite and just leashing the Krugs with my Q. I want to finish off those with a cleave. I guess he does one-shot cleave those, so that's actually pretty sort of good timing, I guess. So you notice that auto attack on the little raptor, and then I drag it out, so it's all AoE'd. So I'm cleaving everything, dragging it out. He actually did probably a better drag out than me there, so I mean, I could even be doing a faster clear. So he's going to catch up on some time probably here. I'm already on wolves. Bam, wolves. Insta QE there. And then one more cleave, and then I start walking here. Throw the Q. 2 auto attacks. E to the next one. Let's see what he does. So he doesn't leash the blue fast enough. He leashes the blue after the wolf's already, the big wolf's already dead, which is incorrect. And then I come here, double leash the Q, cleave. I triple E there. The slow clear version of this, he actually does this blue grump very well, actually. I think even better than me. And then there we go. I finish at 311. He's still going. So his blue grump was, I think, fine. It was sort of just getting here. And then he finishes at about 318 there. So as we can see there, red smite, the way you leashed it and doing the raptors, pulling it out, cleaving them all together with that auto attack, and then also the using the triple E on the I guess I sort of need to explain the triple E a little bit more here, because I didn't have a commentary there. So what I do here is, what you do is I throw the E, and if you instantly E to this, the moonlight is actually not on this, but it will still reset it. So what happens there is now is we can see the moonlight is on the grump, but I still have my E cooldown. I've got that extra damage off. So that's the triple E. Again, I'll talk about that in the advanced combo section, but that's why I can do that on this. And then I have all that attack speed. And then whilst I'm doing the grump and the wolves, again, I'm looking on the left screen here, cleaving those down. I actually don't do an E here for some reason to get the attack speed. So again, I could have sped this up. I could have probably done this by 309 if I did it correctly there. Especially with that Raptors, I think I could have done that a little bit better as well. So there you go. That's the hardest part of the blue clear. You know, if you're getting before 315, don't, you know, that's fine. Don't stress here. You should, with the, not even doing triple E on the blue and grump, you should still easily be getting 313, 314. 315. So as long as you're getting that, that's all good. Let's jump into the blue side leashless clear now.
Deny me no longer. Chosen of the moon. They could not break me. No more lies. Bring down the sun.
Right, so we finished that clear at 313. These are the key points where look at the, you know, when you're going over it again, these are the things that's why my clear might be faster than yours. So obviously the blast cone, same thing as red side. Notice the way that I finish off blue and grump. So I smite blue at 450, but I don't do my last auto attack on blue I use my last cleave on the Gromp. That's really important. We'll see that in the comparison video of what happens when you don't do that. Start wolves with one auto attack, then W, then hold your... It's very important to just finish off that big wolf with a second auto attack, because you want to save your Q to jump over the raptor wall. And sometimes as well, you do it too much where you just hit the big raptor. You want to try and hit all the little raptors with that Q going, jumping over that wall. So that's important as well. These are the two hardest bits. The raptors I find is where people really struggle. It's 7 auto attacks, and then you need to go straight to leash the red. Okay, then you do 2 auto attacks to finish off the camp, off the raptor camp, and then Eon to the red. Next one there is pulling the red to the Krugs and then throwing that last Q to hit both the red buff and the big Krug with the Q to jump over. Smite the big Krugs, spread auto attacks on the small Krugs, you know, to get the red buff on them and your passive, your jungle item. And then save W to finish off the mini Krugs. Just to one-shot them. Same thing, space out your abilities, utilize the attack speed, and use that framework in your mind. Ability, auto attack, auto attack, auto attack, ability. Or ability, 3 auto attacks, ability, to maximize that. So now let's look at comparison of a fast my clear versus someone who's doing it slow, what things they're missing. Again, looking at these key points here. Okay, so exact same thing as the red side clear. If you're struggling, do a side-by-side comparison. Mine versus yours, figure out exactly where you're going wrong. You can be able to see, if you sync up the time, exactly what's going on, just like we're doing here. All right, so obviously mine on the left, slower clear on the right. I already have the blast cone advantage. I have an extra passive stack. So get that, remember 127, and then kiting it to the Gromp. This is going to be hard to see from his example because he smites at a different time, but I actually do 1 less auto attack on the blue. Because as you can see here, he throws his Q. He doesn't hit the blue with that. So I double Q the camp. Same thing as the red side. You double Q. As you can see here, I hit the blue and the Gromp to leash it up. So I have an extra auto attack on the Gromp already. And I started it sooner as well to get my jungle item on it. So that's a really important part. Again, going back to the notes, the PowerPoint slide that was there. These are things that are going to slow down your clear. Start kiting to the next camp. He probably wants to drag himself out more. He's not dragging himself out. He should be over here. As you can see, I was sort of doing the Gromp over here. Make sure the Gromp doesn't reset. Walk up. Start with an auto attack first, then W. He just throws a Q. And his W's off cooldown because of just he's a bit slower behind here. So, powering through these. You want to start kiting the wolves to the next camp. And let it die from the passive. Okay, so it's important to not, when I was talking before, don't QE here because you're not going to hit all the little raptors. You need to QE here so then the sweep comes and cleans all those up. I don't hit all of them there. I could maybe do a better job at hitting those. You see there, he just throws it here. And then, as we can see here, and then he doesn't actually hit as many of the raptors. Alright, so 7 auto attacks, and then I start moving. Looks like he actually gets jammed there, and then I'm there. So he's not kited it there. He's not leashed it with the Q as well on the right side. I'm just powering through this. I'm so much further ahead than this. Already on the blue buff, walking up here. Again, space your abilities out, even with your E as well. And then just finish this off. Save your smite for the big Krug. I hit the red and the big Krug with my Q. And then bam, one shot them with W, hold W for that. That's bam, done, 313. And then him still, going through here, powering through these. He didn't use his W on the little ones. And then, I guess he sort of finished about 325 there-ish, but there you go. So as you can see there, really big difference. The biggest time difference was the Raptors, and again, the red and the Krugs. Those are the key things. The blue side is pretty simple, self-explanatory for the blue one. So that's the key one. The Raptors, red, Krugs, that's the hard part of this clear. Again, guys, compare, figure it out. Doing this clear this fast gives you so many options in the early game. It's you just powering through, especially when you get a leash. You're going to be getting this down to about, especially the red side clear, you're going to finish your jungle camps by 308, 305. You're just going to be just slaughtering through the jungle. You're going to be level 4, ready for that crab. All right, that's it for the clears. Practice, 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 guys. Get into the custom tool, the practice tool. That's the only way you're going to get this down. Practice, practice, practice. Alright guys, well let's keep moving through the guide. Early game mindset with Diana. How to play Diana in the early game. So here are a couple of pointers to help you navigate the early game with Diana. So the first thing that I initially, when I started playing Diana, I realized that she's very weak early game. Crabs is where you're probably going to go the most wrong in the early games. That's why I have a big picture of the crab here. So pathing towards lanes with priority is really important. Now this is going to take time to like really learn, like figure things out. In lower elo, this is not really that important. Pathing wherever is fine, and just, you know, sort of assessing what's going on with the crab. As long as you're doing that early clear very nicely, you're going to have a really much more options in the early game. You know, you don't want to be getting that level 4 clear. You want to be doing that most games. We're going to show you some examples of me not doing that and where you might want to divert from that pathing. But it's really going to be about making sure you're at least getting one crab. Just figure that out. That's like a problem you're solving. And make sure you're not dying or baiting your team on a crab. Again, you're very weak early. It's very important to know where the enemy jungler started. That's where you can see if they've got a leash. Most of the time in gold and below, from my reviews, my studying of the game, 90% of the time, junglers start to their bot lane because it's a harder leash in gold and below. This will probably change a lot more the higher elo you go. That's sort of a good framework. It's like, okay, if I'm matching pathing with them, can we fight 2v2? Does my laners have priority, or do I need to just do my clear and then just walk to the other side, to the other crab? So overall, your goal is, because you're weak early, you know, you want to get to that level 6. You are sort of like a level 6 champion. Your goal is to get a pretty big CS advantage. I'm going to cover some examples of how to do that in the early game here. Conceding crab is common. You know, even getting double crabbed, it's completely fine. If that's the case, that's the case. You know, you can review it after if you just path at the wrong area, but just give the crabs. The next thing there is the way you kill people in the early game is the exact same way you kill jungle camps. Space out your abilities to use the attack speed. You really don't do much damage with your entire combo early game. By the time they use gap closes, I think it's around 30 to 40% damage of their health. Obviously, when you stack that Conqueror, you know, you can start auto-attacking them, but single E's, absolute no-go in the early game. We did show some examples where you didn't need to actually do the double E, but that was, all those examples were later in the game where you could just, you know, get that engage. For example, that Tarzan play in the LPL, you just E, alt, you know, that's good. But early game, you're just doing E does no damage, guys. It's not a damage ability, it's a mobility ability. To, you know, to use it to get your attack speed as well, or, you know, or to get onto someone to queue. So if you really, once you understand, you actually only max will take 40% of someone's health bar, you know, by the time they run away and do use all their abilities. You can really understand that this champ just really just doesn't do much. I'd say 40% is even, you know, high. I probably should be saying around 30%, you know, by the time they run away. So typically you're also going to be doing 2 full clears. Even with 0 map impact, I'm going to be showing you some games where, you know, you don't want to be doing 0 map impact. But 2 full clears plus 1 crab plus 2 jungle camps is level 6, I believe. Or is it maybe 3 jungle camps? But that's also fine. Again, you're playing for that mid-game fights. You're playing, if you're playing the Nashor's build, you're playing to scale. You're playing for the late game. And your mindset, I guess, is sort of to minimize as much as possible in the early game. By tracking, pinging where the enemy jungler started, jungle tracking, counting, ganking where you can, because that's going to help you just get more and more to the late game. So these are a couple of pointers here. Let's jump into some early game examples from my own gameplay. First example here is going to be key theme of jungle tracking, just the importance of it. That allows me to counter jungle, gets me a CS lead. Couple of pointers in this one as well. There's only about 4 or 5 points in this one. Conceding bot crab, you know, knowing when that's the case. And we actually have a really big misplay top, which I sort of want you guys to learn from. I guess it's mainly an execution thing, but get you think. I want you guys to be thinking about your ganks as Diana. Again, you're very weak early. Tempo is important. Making sure we're not giving away free information, basing at the right times. So let's take a look at the example. Okay, so looking at the team comps this game and thinking about my pathing, I am against a Zac who's relatively weak early as well. Aurelia, Singe top. Singe does have a combat spell advantage. Nothing's probably really going to happen bot. You know, it was just a Lulu versus Janna, Ezreal. I do decide to path bot this game. I think I could have also path top this game. Looking at it now, I probably should have actually path top and just did the level 4 clear up top. That's not really the key point I want to get from this. But again, I just want you to think in a bit about the early game pathing from here. I mean, if I was to path top, I mean, Zac blobs and stuff, I mean, they can get pretty annoying in those sort of situations. You know, people can TP to them, TF can TP to the blobs and stuff. I mean, I guess Galio's there to potentially cancel and can match his TP. But let's look at the early game. So the early game was a little bit chaotic here. They did an invade, and they actually, now we know Zac's actually started blue, so now I'm actually matching him. So because I'm matching him, what I wanted to do here was try and get bot ASAP. I really should be. This is one of my earlier games. I should just do Red Krugs Raptors, just do a full level 4 clear. We have the ward on the blue. This is when I started being like, oh, maybe I can try out aggressive things early game. That's not the key point I want to get from this one here. All right, so Zac has, as we can see here, Twisted Fate ends up getting priority mid, and I know Zac's bot side. So there's nothing I can do here. I have to concede the top crab. The bot crab, 100% here. So even TF's literally just coming in here trying to kill me on my blue buff. So looking up top now, so conceding the bot crab, really important here. So I'm coming up here. Aurelia, I know, has no flash, and now I'm just looking to take top crab. So I just run there straight away. I definitely don't want to get double crabbed. I know that Aurelia has based, but she actually sticks around. So this is actually really good for me because this actually is really good. Singer's going to be back on the map. So what I'm thinking here is like, okay, you know, Aurelia wasted time. She made her move to stay on the map. They tried to contest me off this crab, but I was there too quickly. And now I'm like, okay, I want to either cancel Aurelia's base or we're looking to fight now. And Singer's off map, Gallia's off map. And they try and invade, and then we get a nice early little advantage here. So that happened because they tried to double crab me, but I was there I just went straight to the top crab, was there sooner. If I was to reset and go there, I probably would have got double crab there. So sometimes walking there is the better thing to do here. All right, so now let's think about Zac's pathing now. So Zac has just flashed, and what we can see here is Zac is going down into, we see him with the scrying plant. He has 24 CS. We know he started topside. So Zac's path in here would be blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, red, and then it looks like he did bot crab, and then he tried to come and contest me on top crab. So now I know he's probably going to base, and I now know the next rotation of his camps is going to be on his Gromp. So he's probably looking to base now, and that E right there over the wall, so I know that he's basing. So he's basing, and where's he going to go back base out? He's going to go back topside out of base, isn't he? Because he started top, and his top camps are spawned. His Raptors won't be spawning yet. So in my mind, I'm thinking I actually might have an opportunity here to literally go and take his Raptors and Krugs. So probably out of base, like Zac is probably walking. You know, he's probably just, you know, hitting his Gromp. And I know he does Gromp and that pretty slow. So I decide to skip my Wolves and go straight to his Raptors. So that I'm like fine lining on the tempo here of Zac. These spawn at the perfect time here, so I'm literally on perfect time. There's no way Zac's here. Zac's probably on his Gromp or walking to his Wolves now. So he's gonna be walking down here, and I've taken his Raptors, and then I literally opt to go take his Krugs down. As we can see there, perfectly, we know that Zac has now done his Gromp Wolves, and then now he's come and looked for a gank here, and I'm just laughing here. I'm just taking these camps. So I'm going to have 40 CS here by 5 minutes 30. You know, I'm doing really good for experience and gold. And Zac's now going to bot side. He can't counter jungle any of my top camps because I took them here before this. This is what you want to be doing early game, guys. Punishing people for you know, wasting tempo. They tried to make that play. And then I was tracking the timers of his camps. And now I've got an experience and gold lead over him. A massive CS lead. This is basically GG for him at this point. This is really good for me. So jungle tracking, thinking about what camps are up. Taking enemy Raptors is really, really, really good as Dino as well, because you just kill them so quickly. Think about the enemy Raptors spawn a lot. Taking Krugs is sort of just a bonus. You don't always have to take their Krugs. I just knew I could do this because there's no way they knew that I was bot side. The next thing here, it's so important not to gank bot here, guys. If I gank bot here, I have to reset. I'm so weak, guys. I have no items. So the thing that you need to think about here is, well, whenever you're trying to kill people around the level 4, level 5 mark, which people on the map are now, and you have 0 items, you do no damage. I was saying that your full combo does about 30-40% of the health. Right now, my full combo will probably do literally about 20% of these guys' health. There's no kill threat here. Must base, must spend my gold. If I was to gank bot here, I could lose Dragon, I could lose my bot camps. It could be absolutely game-changing. So I decided to base, bind the Hextech Alternator, and I think I opt for Dark Seal here. This is a very ideal first base. It doesn't get better than this, guys. Obviously, I can't buy boots because I have magical footwear. So now I'm just going straight bot. I ping my team, guys, Zach's bot. Again, guys, minimizing for your team, tracking the enemy jungler. Where are they? So as we can see, Zach's bot, and I'm skipping my camps, going straight for the crab, because I know he hasn't done it yet. And there we go, he's on the crab, he smarts, and this is just really unfortunate for Zach here. Galio's got a roam move as well. I mean, Galio's level 6, we can easily fight this, that's why I came down here as well. Great. Okay, next key important thing here, guys. Where is Zach going to go out of base? Most likely back to his top side. He's just going to do another repeat. Clear down. His blue's going to be spawning soon. It's really important to not do dragon in these situations, guys. I've already got the crab. I'm already doing really good for experience and gold here. I want to keep up the tempo, keep up the momentum by just doing another full clear. Doing dragon here, it just takes too long. I just want my Galio to go back mid and just push in the wave. I don't need any chaos early game here. Just do my next full clear. Speed camps, get level 6. I mean, I'm one camp off level 6 as well, just from this Gromp. So it's so important as well, your mindset with Diana. If you're one camp off level 6, don't fight, don't make plays. Just get the level 6. I get level 6. If I was to do dragon here, guys, I'd be so far behind on tempo because I know Zach is now topside. You know, TF could have maybe, like, instead of making the play bot here, he could have maybe... Zach could have seen me do drag and he's like, okay, TF, come, let's kill him in the top side. But I'm not giving them the opportunity to do that because I'm keeping up tempo of my camps. So I'm literally just killing my camps all on spawn. Bam, full clear. 64 CS at 7 minutes, 48 seconds, guys. You know, this is obviously the help of the counter jungling. But this is where we want to be at. This is an ideal early game for Diana. And I've sort of pressured a little bit as well. You know, I've sort of done a bit of a fight and I've taken away, you know, his Raptors and Krogs. Alright, so this play I really didn't want to do. Singe was sort of like saying, you know, come kill this guy, come kill this guy. My sort of win con was bot at this point. Bot was on 3 plates. I just absolutely misexecute this, guys. I have flash and ult. So let's actually look at this. So I'm walking up. I'm waiting for her to jump to a minion. I didn't want to throw my Q because I was waiting for her to jump to a minion. It would be too easy for her to dodge that Q. And then I just whiff that, and then it's just an absolute mess. And the bad thing about this is I show now here. I mean, I know Zach's around topside. If Zach knows that I'm he could easily just go and take Rift Herald now. And I'm spam pinging, you know, Zach topside. So this is actually not a good play. We're going to end the review here, guys, because that's really big. But I just want to, again, show the mindset here of just being so far ahead. And as we can see here, once I press tab, I'm level 7 to... Zach will be about level 5 now, probably about 40 CS. I'm so far ahead of Zach, and Zach is so far behind at this point. So again, really, really ideal early game. Let's look at our next example. Okay, the theme of the next example is skipping camps to impact volatile lanes. So this is sort of moving away from the mindset. Sometimes you don't want to get into that just clear, screw laners, be selfish. Sometimes it's just free kills, guys. So this is going to be some examples, you know, get you guys thinking about. Sometimes skip camps to impact lanes that are more heavy trading. So this is a great example, I think, here. So let's just jump straight into it. Okay, so this game, I opt to path towards bot. It is a Victor Janna bot lane. Mages are very weak early. Galio has play potential. Warwick up here, it actually is a Warwick top lane. I assume that Echo was just going to be mid. I mean, Warwick mid's a little bit weird, especially against the Ziggs. So there's no way we're fighting top. We're not going to win 2v2. Warwick Dino is probably one of the most useless 2v2 combos. So again, pathing away from our weak side into potential playmaking here. So I come here, I start the red buff. Make sure you check where the enemy jungler starts, guys. Remember, ping it. I want you to get into the habit of pinging it, where the enemy jungler starts. As we can see, enemy top lane's in lane, bot lane's late to the lane. We now know that the enemy bot lane has started red, and then I spam ping the red start. Alright, so we come down here. Okay, so this is the key thing here, guys. I am looking bot. This is where map awareness is so important. Look at the bot wave the entire time. I've also been checking bot to see if they've warded or not, and I believe they haven't warded at all, looking at the minimap. So I decided to skip my camps. I already have my E. You know, you already get your E. And I'm like, okay, I'm coming down here. Let's just do a gank. I might miss my opportunity because they might push in this next wave, and then I'll miss the opportunity to gank them. So my Galio ends up going maybe a little bit too early, potentially. This is just solo queue. Sometimes it's a bit of a mess. And then I decide to opt around the waves coming up. They're fighting. They're heavy trading still. And then come up here. And remember, guys, I know there's no way Kane's down here. Kane's topside, so this is absolutely free. There's no option. There's no potential of a counter gank. And then, bam, 2 kills for my bot lane. I've got my win condition going here. Galio is great to make plays with. Great example of skipping camps. I know Kane is on top side. So, okay, I'm just spam pinging. They actually dive top and kill them because they know I'm bot side. That's whatever. That usually happens. Blue Gromp, and then I reset, and then I just come straight top. And then I'm just going to... My mindset right now is just create efficient pathing around bot side and win condition. I'm just going to clear from top to bot. Look to get dragon. You know, you want to be making sure we're still maintaining really good CS numbers, guys. So just keep sequencing my camps. Okay, next decision here. To skip camps. So I'm looking at mid. This is why map awareness using F keys, looking at the minimap is so important, guys. I could have easily just blindly just done Raptors here, but I want to help Ziggs. This is volatile. Again, the theme of this example is skipping camps to impact volatile lanes. They're fighting volatile. Look at how low Echo is. Skipping my Raptors, come in here to push. I know Kane's also bot side as well because we've been matching. We're obviously on opposite ends of the map at all times. He made his top play. He reset to go bot. He goes bot, and then obviously because he started red, I made my bot play, then I reset to go top. So we're going to match here. So really important, guys, again, jungle tracking. So I'm coming here, just sweep in. My mindset here is actually not really to kill or gank here. What I'm thinking here is more so to just help Ziggs push in the wave. Echo's so pressured here. I think I actually do Moonlight the wrong thing. Maybe I could have actually got a kill here. Okay, actually, I think I actually misexecuted this because I threw a Q here to jump, and then I E'd that minion that wasn't Moonlighted. Okay, so it's actually a bit of a blunder, guys. Probably could have maybe got a kill there, but again, mindset here is volatile lanes. Look and see what's going on. And this is another example, guys, of why the QE combo is so important. Help him push in. Excellent. And then Echo is so pressured now. He's like literally 1 HP under the tower. And now I'm looking for Kane, looking to do Dragon, looking to maybe make a play dive bot. Just not doing my camps because I know Kane's maybe bot side. Unfortunately, Gallery dies there. As you can see, guys, Dyna just does not do much damage at all early game, even when I have a Hextech Alternator. So, come in here, pushing this. So that's it for this example, guys. I just want to sort of show you mindset here of, and then actually, as we saw here, Ziggs actually just killed the Echo there. So that we really assisted that kill. In a way, we didn't assist it, but we did because, you know, we pressured mid, we pushed that in, and Ziggs could do whatever he wants, and we pushed Echo out of his jungle. I mean, I could have easily as well just gone to back to my camps here, but we're on the pressure. I want to show Kane, this is my jungle. You can't do anything. Don't kill my Ziggs. You can't kill my Ziggs. So then I obviously know that he's here, so I'm looking to come down bot. Great example, guys. I want you to think about this in your reviews. How to skip your camps, when to skip your camps to impact more volatile lanes. This is where F keys map awareness is really important. Don't get sucked into the full clearing mindset as done. Even though it's important, sometimes you can't do it. So the theme of the next example is patience on abilities. This is more like skirmishing. As we can see here, the first point already, tracking. Jungle tracking has been a very common theme over the last 2 examples, guys. And helping out lanes, skipping camps. There's some of that in here. Again, I'm just trying to show you guys as many examples as possible. This is a really key mindset where sometimes like nothing will really happen early game, but all you're looking for is that one fight. Let's say at 10 minutes, you come there, patience on your abilities, bam, triple kill, amazing. If you mess that up, the game's a lot harder. So let's take a look at this example, guys. This one's a little bit longer, until about 15 minutes in the game. Okay, so this game's a little bit more tricky looking at the team compositions here. I potentially want to have priority in all 3 lanes early game. You know, Harmoning's got his turrets, he's got Ignite. Sona Ezreal is just so weak. Karma's a bit of a lane bully, and Wukong's got Conqueror. I mean, Son's my best bet. So I decided to actually path top here. With Corrupting Pot, maybe we can do something top here. Obviously, Sejuani's not that strong early game as well, but her combined with Wukong makes her very strong 2v2. So I'm sort of just going to path top here, see what happens. Maybe have to concede top crab. So this is unfortunately one of these games where maybe I just get double crabbed. So I start red, just do the clear. And there we go. Son actually has priority top. And then unfortunately, I don't get here in time because my clear is very slow. This is one of my earlier games, but that's not the point for this one. If I was here, I could have been here sooner and counter ganked this because I also knew that Sejuani started bot. This is actually maybe a situation we're showing how me not clearing quick enough. She did 5 camp, I did 6 camp. I mean, Sejuani's never going to do 6 camps. She's just super slow. Means that I don't get here in time enough to give up that crab. So this game could have gone a lot differently if I just cleared my camps faster. I mean, if we look at the way I'm clearing, I got a leash bot and I'm still finishing. I didn't double camp this. And I'm still finishing around 320, 320, 318. That should have been about a 305 finish, and then I would have been here for this counter gank. Alright, that's beside the point here. So coming down here. Okay, so the next thing here is I see Sejuani moving down to the bot river here, guys. My bot lane's, going back to that last example, volatile lanes. Look how volatile bot is. My Krugs just spawned. I could have easily just been like, oh, I'm just going to do my Krugs here. I know Sejuani's here. So tracking, really important. She's obviously going to gank bot. She's trying to help her bot lane out because they're very low HP. And then I just wait, patience. And then we collapse on this Diana. Holding my abilities, spacing out abilities, guys. Waiting for her to E. Then I have the double E. So this is a perfect example of how to be using your double, our double, once we use the reset of the QE combo. Again, the core fundamental for Diana. As we can see here, guys, I did sort of waste flash here. Don't really know my limits yet on Diana, I guess. Another example, guys, you just do no damage. Like I even do another E, some auto attacks and a Q. You still, I don't even think another auto attack would have killed him. Maybe, probably at 60% HP. Alright, so help my bot lane push, so this is great. So I've sort of minimized bot a little bit. So now I just go back to my camps. Okay, next thing here is look at how low Lux is in terms of her HP and mana. I could have maybe skipped my Krugs to help her, but I really don't want to completely ruin my sequencing of camps. I want to at least do my Krugs. I see how low mid is, and I'm like, okay, I got to help them. Skip my Raptors. And then I got a really good QE over the wall here. Get a flash. Great. Again, mindset, helping lanes, guys. Alright, so I just help Lux push in her lane. Help her push the next wave as well. Great. Helping lanes, guys, is important jungle fundamental. We'll just go back to my Raptors. Keep sequencing camps. Alright, so the next thing here is, again, I see top. Top's fighting after my Raptors and Wolves. I could have easily, again, autopiloted, just done Gromp. I need to skip my camps and help this guy. I am so close to level 6, which is sort of breaking the rule a little bit, guys. I'm pretty lucky I get level 6 off some minions over there, and that allows us to clean up the Heimding here. Great. Alright, so next thing here is I come here. I'm scared that Diana's around topside because in terms of jungle tracking, she's potentially topside because then after we killed her bot, she'll be reset, clearing her top camps and working her down bot or looking to help top. So I come here, I take the crab, I hit the splant, I just wait, chill. Lux is mid priority, so this is pretty free even if Sejuani comes. And I'll take the crab. Okay, so this is my mistake. I do see a Sejuani bot, and this is really poor, guys. Like, I go and check her top camps. So top camps are obviously gone. I've just mistimed this in my head. There's no way these are up. They'll probably be up in around 40 seconds or so. But remember, going back, it's like, if she's bot, that means she's sequenced her camps from top to bot. So this was a huge mistake, a huge waste of time here. I literally go Raptors and then I check her Krugs. I mean, these are obviously not up. So I just come here, channel my base. 2,300 gold, guys. No reason to do any plays. There's no dive potential top here. I have no ult. Just reset. I'm pretty close to my Nashor's Tooth. But as we said there, I just buy tier 2 boots because I like to buy tier 2 boots between Nashors. This is a game where I did go Nashors because I'm against a Sejuani and Wukong, a little bit tankier champs. I think Rocketbelt would have been fine here as well, to be honest. And Zhonya's. Again, that's a really solid, consistent build. So going bot just to sequence my camps again. Bot to top. I look mid again, so I could have again kept going to just clear my camps, but I see how low Heimding is mid, and I'm like, I gotta help these guys. Karma's roaming up. So come here, I see Karma. Oh, if Lux hit that, we probably would have been okay. Alright, so I know that Sejuani's probably most likely topside. But then I see her mid. I'm like, okay, great. I have time to take her camp. So I quickly take her Krugs. Maybe I didn't actually have time to do this. Wukong's not moving, though. I guess Karma, they made this obvious. Oh. Probably should have saved my Q over the wall or something. Single ult there. Not ideal. I mean, that's a pretty bad ult. So I'm pretty lucky there that Sejuani misses the ult. So maybe that was a risky play to go for the red buff. But does end up working out. Use my QE to double hop over the wall. So my team actually does a really good job there. It's sort of my mistake. Pretty lucky at that point. Okay, so this is the key point for this, guys, here. Holding abilities. So I'm just chilling here. Just waiting. Just waiting. Maybe a bit of a sloppy Q there. There's no reason. I've missed my Q. There's no reason for me to come in there. I'm waiting for my ult. Really important to check your ult cooldown, guys. You see how my ult wasn't up this entire time? I can't go in there and help my team. Don't just help your team. Just sit back, wait. So now I'm coming in. Okay, so they come in. And then get a nice, beautiful 3-man ult there. Suck Karma into the tower. Clean these guys up. So really important to wait for your ult, guys. And I could have easily just gone in there and just died. I come here, I get the kill. I may be greedy for this. I'm 7-0. I probably shouldn't be given 450 gold shutdown. So that was a bit of a mistake, potentially. Alright, so I do die, but I get my Nashor's Tooth. Item spike. Come down bot side. Sejuani, I see, is top. Looking for a play mid here. This bush is control warded. Kit the beautiful EQ there. This is, again, a thing where there's no reason for me to just run in here and just ult. Just, again, wait. That's a thing that I mentioned in the bad plays and good plays. Is sometimes wait a little bit for them to flash or something. You know, they can easily really flash that second damage from the ult. So as we can see here, I hesitate too much and then I ult and then I sort of waste ult. Like, that's just a trade flash. I don't need to ult there. So sometimes be a little bit patient with your ult. Patience of abilities is really important, guys. So I take some tower shots maybe for no reason. Sejuani comes down here. I don't move to my bot camps because I know Sejuani's around here. I want to help. Tried to actually get a double Q there. Alright, so take my red Krugs, looking for a play bot. Sona misses that ult. Okay, this is the next key important thing here, guys. I tell my team to give up Dragon here. Lux is top. Sejuani's off base. Heimerdinger has priority here. Sona has no ult. I do have ult, but I have 1500 gold in my inventory. Just give the Dragon. We can't contest Dragon. Lux is top. This is really important, guys. I decided to just hover here because I do see Heimerdinger moving down here. But then Sejuani is obviously here as well. So just completely concede Dragon here, guys. I'm 8-1. I don't need to risk a Dragon here. Okay, so really important to know when to concede objectives, guys. So we just completely give the Dragon. I know this guy's no flash, so I don't really need to be patient and hesitate on that ult. But this is, again, why tracking flashes is really important on Diana as well. It's like my Raptors reset, go top side. And I do have Nashor's Riftmaker, guys, and this is where you're just having a blast with this build. I have huge item spikes. Sejuani's here. Couldn't care less. I don't know why I throw the Q on there, but, I mean, you don't really need... You're just auto-attack based with this anyway, so, I mean, it just works. We just kill them. Alright, so, great example, guys, of being patient with your abilities, helping laner still, using the fundamentals from the last two examples, tracking. Let's take a look at example number 4. For the fourth example here, I thought this was a great mindset in terms of pathing away from strong early junglers and just getting a really big CS lead whilst they obviously are going to do things on the map and probably, you know, get your laners behind. So here's an example where I play against an Elise who I know will almost 100%, you know, path into a Renekton lane, Elise Renekton, and then I opt to path opposite her to just take her Raptors and Krugs. The note that I have here is 90% of junglers in Golden Blow start their bot side. This is very effective, again, against 3-camp junglers, you know, Elise, Lee Sin, Trundle, Xin Zhao to an extent as well. These type of champions, you can just go path opposite, know where they're going to start, and then just take their Raptors and Krugs. So you're obviously going to have to path the opposite end of their Raptors and Krugs. So then you can, you know, start your camps and then eventually end there. So let's take a look at this example, guys, how to get really big CS leads, and then we can be able to carry the game. Okay, so just double checking, look at the comps here again against Elise Renekton. There's a Talon mid. If I was to path top this game, there's just nothing to do. Like if she path tops as well, I won't be able to counter jungle. I mean, I could maybe loop back bot and maybe take them after I see her top, but it's been more efficient for me to just start red and then just path down bot. So come down here. This confirms Renekton shows up top in his lane. Enemy Elise, enemy bot lane's obviously leashed Elise. So my mindset instantly, I see her. She actually goes from her red straight to level 2 gank top. Nautilus is there for some reason. No idea what's going on there, but this just gives me free access. Come here, do a full clear, take the crab, and then I go and take her raptors. I do actually look for mid there a little bit, but then I'm like, because she actually jumps on him, but there's no way I'm killing a Talon. I think I realized that pretty soon. Back off, Nathan. Back off. I actually get seen there. It's actually not ideal. Alright, anyways. Take the Krugs. Getting seen there actually could have been bad for me. Nautilus could have easily come and contested me on Krugs. That's actually something to consider here as well. That's why showing there is actually really bad. So these guys actually look to try and engage on me. Use my E again as an escape tool, guys. That's why E can be really handy as well. I mean, it has a little lantern there as well. They overcommit. This is sort of them falling over themselves. I just wanted to show you guys the example of, again, that mindset of the benefits. Showing mid, not good though. So now let's jump into an example where I actually decide to do the opposite, where I actually path into maybe the potential strong side, but then I just loop down to take the Raptors Krugs. This is actually another option you can do that I presented earlier, but this is more ideal because then you can have access to the whole 6 camps and then get really far ahead. And there's much more to look over this game. And then I think I kill Renekton top here. No, take my Raptors. Oh, this was really bad. I should have actually helped my team here. I was staying on red. I was waiting for my red buff for level 6. Which sometimes you can overdo. Sometimes you need to help them. You know, sometimes it's bad to follow that rule of that I mentioned earlier. Just if you're 1 camp off level 6, just get that camp. Sometimes it can be to your detriment. Alright guys, let's look at the final early game 5th example. Power farming. This is a 72 CS by 8 minutes 40 seconds. I'll show you how I do it. Conceding crabs the first thing you're going to see here. Really important. Going back to the key mindset that we've covered a lot, taking the enemy Raptors and Krugs. So let's just jump into it, take a look here. Okay, so this game I end up deciding to path top early. I was very scared of the bot lane priority of the Sivir brand, but looking at it now, it's so obvious Lee Sin is going to path towards top, you know, the double sums there. I sort of like was trying to compensate. It's like, you know, maybe we can try and do something 2v2, but this is the exact same game as last game, guys. I should just start red here, just do this and then take his Raptors and Krugs. He's obviously going to level 3 gank top. One thing I wanted you to take away from this here as well is that I actually decide, because I am pathing towards top, I don't want to get invaded by the Lee Sin by just doing a red-blue grump and invade me, so I do the same 114 ward that I talk about in my Eve guide last season. So holding your ward against strong early junglers, you know, like Lee Sin or Lee Sin's out, really helps as well. Just to sort of track them and sort of minimize a little bit, help your laners out, because you don't really need the red sweeper trinket to pressure. But again, pathing top was the wrong idea here. But I do end up adapting. Darius solo kills set, and then I sort of do my camp. So obviously Lee Sin is going to get here before me. And then now I just go down, I go straight to the crab, and then I take his Raptors and Krugs. So they just kill my Darius again. But again, guys, really important mindset here, just to get really far ahead. I come here, I chuck a ward on the Raptors here, because I want to track Lee Sin when he comes back bot and, you know, protect my Ziggs. I decide not to base here because I don't really have that good of a base. I might as well just continue to just do a second full clear again, guys. So I do a second full clear. I now have almost level 6 by 5 minutes 40 seconds, reset, and then go back bot. This is much better. Get a Hextech Alternator, Dark Seal again. This is my ideal base, guys. So sometimes it's fine, as we saw in one of the earlier examples where I decided not to do a second full clear, I reset. That's because in that situation I already had 1700 gold. But this one I wanted to stay on the map and then do a second full clear. And now I can come down bot. I want to play around bot. Bot's sort of my win condition at this point anyway. So come down bot. I decided to go straight through lane here looking for a gank. And pretty lucky timing here, to be honest, guys. Come here. Clean up the, don't even need to do my QE combo there. Alright, there's no way I'm doing dragon here, guys. Look how low my bot lane is. They need to push that in and reset, okay? I know Lee Sin's probably around bot side as well, potentially. So I'm coming here as well, guys. You might think, oh, this is a horrible gank. What are you doing? I need to help my laners, guys. I need to help Vel'Koz push this in. So this is really important as well, helping them push lanes. So help him push this in. I get my level 6 here by 6 minutes 38 seconds. That's really good.
The moon also rises.
Take my blue, take my Gromp. 60 CS by 7 minutes 20 seconds, guys. I'm looking top here. They actually start fighting. So this is again, I'm looking top, volatility, and then I'm looking top, but then he actually ends up getting the kill. This is actually a mistake. I mean, Darius really should just base here. His wave's fine. If you actually look at it, it's going to push back to him. I probably should have come and helped him push this in. But, I mean, I think he really should have based there. But again, you sort of got to... I should have just been there to hover him to help him. Lee Sin's obviously coming to kill him. So Lee Sin comes and kills him, but I take the camps. But again, premise applies here. 72 CS by 8 minutes. Great stuff, guys. Okay, and then I'm just going to reset and keep playing around my bot and prep Dragon. So this is ideal, guys. This is what you want to be looking at. These are the CS numbers you want to be looking at. And then we're going to be looking at, you know, those mid-game skirmishes as we go on how to play Diana. Looking for those in Rocketbelt, E, alt combos, all that sort of stuff. So let's move on now into the guide, learning a little bit how to maybe close out games into the mid-late game after we get a lead like this. Full game review with Diana. So we'll look at a game from start to finish. This game I wanted to highlight as well because I thought there was some really interesting early pathing. Again, give you more options to be a little bit more aggressive in the early game rather than doing that level 4 clear, which is still very, very good. But if you're maybe in a rut with Diana where you're just really struggling in the early games, like your team's just getting too far behind, you can try out stuff like this. But overall, I want to be thinking here about maintaining really good CS still, impacting the map really well, closing out games with her. So let's take a look. Okay, so taking a look at the team compositions here. I'm against a Viego jungle. Again, I mean, you don't really win many matchups. Viego definitely beats you up, especially the fact that he has Resolve and Conqueror early. Kassadin versus Ziggs. He has Barrier. Not much kill threat mid. Again, a Kassadin Diana is a terrible 2v2 combo. I mean, we just do no damage, no CC. He does have Ignite, so I guess he does a little bit of damage. We got a Thresh Ezreal, you know, super safe bot lane. I don't have any setup bot. So my mindset here is the only real volatile part of this map is probably topside. Pantheon's got run and Ignite, as we can see here. He's going to be looking to, you know, fight. And also, Wukong can get out of control and be pretty good against, you know, their top side of the map. Wukong's really good at AD champs because of his passive. Stone Skin, I think it's called, stacks up armor. So my mindset here is I know that Viego is going to be starting red. He's 100% going to path towards Pantheon with Ignite. And if I start red here and I 3 camp and then gank here, you're going to get there before him. And also he can't counter jungle these camps because by the time you show top and he thinks that you just got a leash top and you're just going to path bot, then he's going to be here like, oh shit, you know, I need to go and, you know, look to counter gank, or I need to, you know, help my top lane, but I'll be there too late. And so that's my mindset here. I sort of call it the checkmate where you can't really get counter jungled because, again, Viego is going to be on blue side by the time I show top. So that's my thinking here. So I do red Krugs Raptors, and then Wukong actually gets solo killed there. He does have TP, so he's going to TP back to the lane. So I'm like, okay, I can maybe still make the play here. Viego did start red. I also think I pinged that. I skipped past that, but don't worry about that. So I'm coming straight top. So again, super volatile here. Looking at the wave, so what has actually happened here is I do hang around here, but he's just based. And this sort of sucks. I mean, I've sort of got to adapt my game now. So it doesn't actually go how I planned. And this is the reality of League of Legends, guys. You might have game plans, but they just don't go well. You know, I think it was a pretty sound idea. Especially seeing how hardcore they traded early game. So just come in here. I definitely don't want to show mid at all here, guys. There's no way we're killing Ziggs. If I show mid, there's so much information I give away to the enemy Viego. Like, he can spam ping his bot lane, go contest bot crab. I know where that Diana's going bot side. So very important not to show on mid, guys. And again, I have 0 kill threat there. At max, maybe I'll burn like maybe a barrier. I mean, even then, he's just going to W away with his Ziggs bomb. Alright, so I come down here. Unfortunately, I just come and try and get this crab because I'm so far behind because I've stuffed up the top. Again, guys, this is sort of like a pretty shitty early game, right? But we're going to be able to carry this game still. Just adapt in. Alright, so Viego's coming down to look to double crab me. Viego's coming down. So I don't really want to fight this because Viego's coming down. Samira's playing pretty aggressive here. Viego's walking down. Viego's walking down. I probably pretty bad Q there, and I do a single target E. Remember, guys, you don't want a single target E. I should just walk up and auto attack him. I don't know why I start E in there. So again, a little bit of not champion mastery with Diana. As long as we know what's going wrong, we get a kill on Viego, and then we get a kill there. So great. I mean, that's sort of the enemy team sort of falling over themselves a little bit, but you know, you capitalize on these opportunities in solo queue. All right, so the next question here is, where's Viego going to go out of base? Back to bot side. He obviously, his bot camps will be up. He just went from top, and then he came down to try and contest my bot camps. So I do blue, Gromp, reset, come top. Again, ideal buy there. Hextech Alternator, and then Dark Seal, amazing buy. So I'm looking to just come top here. Top wave's getting pushed in, but I just want to keep up tempo on my camps. I sort of need to catch up a little bit from that really bad early game that I had in terms of wasting a lot of time pathing. Looking top, checking the wave. I see Pantheon's actually watered Tri-Brush there. That movement shows me he's watered Tri-Brush. I make sure that I'm not seeing it, so I know this is just a free gank. And I also know that Viego's around bot side, so he's probably not going to counter gank this. This is just really great fundamentals, guys. Coming up here before the wave pushes in. Viego's actually now working his way up to top side. Probably should have QE combo there. I don't know why I'm not QE in there. Again, lack of champion mastery. Stick around here, help him shove this in. And then Ziggs comes, and I think I just need to leave this. I mean, if I had my E up still, guys, here, I mean, I probably could have really won this and probably should have helped him earlier. So I'm probably underestimated a little bit. Very lucky here with Triumph, guys. I was probably underestimating the Wukong there. I should have actually just helped him fought there, especially since he was level 6 and Viego was level 5. Ziggs isn't that scary, guys. So that was probably my mistake there. Alright, so now, top's my win condition, guys. My mindset now is I just want to play around Herald. How can I get the Herald as efficiently as possible? And the answer is clearing from bot to top. So I do my Gromp. I just do some vision here just to pressure bot a little bit. I find crabs up. Just smite it instantly to break the shield. Maybe a little bit risky crab there. You know, he's probably on his red there or something. So I think that was actually potentially a risky crab. Viego could have definitely been around there. But again, my mindset here is just to walk towards top side. Play for this Herald. So I come here, take my red, take my Krugs. 64 CS, 8 minutes. We're doing pretty well. Almost level 8 as well. You know, we're almost at the same level as the time. Pantheon need to watch out for their ults. Very scary. So come in here, just look into counter gank. See what I can do here. They go on a wild goose chase for the Kassadin. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, they'll kill Kassadin, but guess what? I'm going to go push mid here. This is also a very important mindset, guys. If you have free waves to push, again, we want to have really good CS numbers. We want to carry, we want to be in that mid-late game threat. Just shake the minion waves. I mean, I've got Rocketbelt now. I'm already really strong, but I just want to get even stronger. So my team's pinging Dragon here and stuff. I see Pantheon go back top side. And I just decided to start Dragon here. I guess I just think I'm really strong, but if I really think about this probably isn't the best Dragon core. How low is Ziggs? Am I even looking at that? I don't even think I'm looking at how low Ziggs is, so I'm not... I think right now I just think that I'm so much stronger with Lulu ult and Rocketbelt. And Ezreal's not much of a threat. Ziggs has no ults as well, I believe. Oh, but Viego jumps over there. Bit of risky there, and great. We pick up the Dragon. So this is really ideal for me. Now I got Dragon. I've denied that from the map, so I don't even need to trade objectives at this point. Now I can just take my Gromp. And now I can be playing around Herald, but I see bot fighting, so I decide to come and help. And then bot's doing a really good job here. Just wait for the wave. I don't need to dive now. Viego's here. Bot lane just resets. Lulu's I don't need to do anything here. Just help them maybe push out the wave a little bit there. Take the crab. Walk up to take Krugs. Reset. And then again, the components, guys, you want to be building the stopwatch first, because this is at max peak strength. I got 100 CS by 12 minutes here, almost level 10, Rocketbelt, Zhonya's. This is where I can really make plays happen. So my mindset right now is I don't really care too much about jungle camps. I'm looking to make an aggressive play. This is where you can be really aggressive. I have flash up, I have everything up. I am one camp off level 10, but again, looking to be aggressive here. I see Viego top, decide to take his red, and then we make a play bot. And we kill Thresh down here. We're going to lose Herald for this, but that's fine. We're getting my Lulu Samira. So I'm thinking of Lulu Samira as well. I mean, you know, they're going to scale really well with the Lulu. Just sort of helping our bot there. I mean, Wukong's fine. I mean, as we can see here, he's literally like 1v2 in top. He's fine. Wukong's like pretty far ahead here. So come up here. I hold my abilities. Don't decide to go on that. Probably could have gone on that. Maybe too much of a small wins mindset. Bot dies. I just look for Herald. To pressure his top camps before I take Herald. I see him here. Okay, that was really bad. Q. And flush as well. And I don't get the reset. Again, guys, this is how useless you are. If you stuff up your QE combo, you just don't do anything. Clean up the kill there. I'm pretty lucky Cassidy came cleaned up. I decided not to do Herald. Okay, this is actually an important one as well, guys. So, Wukong's obviously in base. It's just so obvious. I mean, I'm walking over this. I'm pretend to do Herald, but keep up tempo of your camp, guys. Like, it's past 14 minutes. Plates are gone. I don't need this Herald. All my camps are up. I want to clear my camps. Get level 11. I want to be the strongest member of the team. So this is important as well. Just because it's like maybe a free Herald, just take the camps. Full clear. Reset. Come back bot. I'm prepping for next dragon. That second Herald is pretty useless, guys. You don't want to trade second Herald for tempo of your camps. 130 CS by 15 minutes with really good map impact here. So this is how we close out games. It's so much. It's more so deciding not to do things like key objectives and all that. I'm already pressured Viego enough. I'm very strong. My mindset here is I just want to play for that 22-minute Baron fight, and I'm going to be strong enough to do that. I just want to be as strong as possible. No reason to waste my tempo on that Herald there. All right, so just trying to make an aggressive play down here. Maybe could have looked for a 3-man ult there. No, again, no need to risk it, guys, here. I mean, we're really far ahead already. Looking to go mid. Just sort of just waiting for Viego. My bot's pressuring, so I'm pretending not to be here. I'm waiting for them to walk up, misstep. And then I see them start walking up. And now I can look for a dive. Again, guys, Rocketbelt, stopwatch. This is prime time. I just decide to ult there. Just get a kill. So that was really, there's some sneaky plays you can do here, guys. I could have easily just stood there and just hit the tower, but I'm waiting for them to misstep. They're obviously going to try and walk up here. They think they're safe. And then we obviously get the kill there. All right, so Pantheon, I believe, ults down here. And I also have stopwatch, guys, so this is just too easy. He can't W me. It's insta stopwatch. And then he gets away. Gromp, reset. So this is a time when I was still building Morale and Omicron. I think just going Death Cap here is just better, guys. Again, or even looking to get Magi's Soul Stealer as well. I probably could just get Magi's. How much gold did I have? No, I definitely want to get I don't have enough for Magi's, yeah. So just sit on the 800 gold here, you know. I guess it's sort of a good buy here as well, but again, I'm not too much of a fan of Morale and Omicron healing reduction with this build. In mine says just go in, one shot, get as much damage off with Death Cap. I'll let your other teammates build the healing reduction. Man, it's not like I have that much healing as well. Viego a little bit, Pantheon with his Conqueror, but not really. Okay, so just doing the Herald here. So looking to close out the game. So mindset as well, guys, is that Ziggs is just going to sit there and stall mid forever. So just use Herald, even though it's not value in terms of the tower's already pretty low, as we can see here. If the first mid tower's not broken yet, always use second Herald on it to finish it off, because that's the way you open up the map. It's really important to break the first tower, because we can't progress the game if that tower's not broken, and Ziggs can just keep throwing bombs all day and just wave clearing. So we break that. Now I'm just looking for a flank, waiting for them to collapse towards top, and then just get a beautiful... So these are the picks that we're looking for here, guys. So what I'm thinking here is that I go missing, okay? So come here. Wukong's putting out significant pressure top, so I know that they're going to be walking towards top. I call this the magnet concept. So I'm coming here, I'm looking for picks, looking to try and get them all grouped up. So patience, 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 hit that, and then just go straight in here, guys. And as you can see, the damage is just insane. I'm so far ahead. So maybe a bit of an overreach. I think I might have misplayed this a little bit. Let's just see how we could play this better, guys. Maybe walk up a little bit further, Rocketbelt, and then so Q, and then E, yep. I guess going for alt there is fine. And then Rocketbelt. I guess everyone just flashes. Alright, yeah. Maybe that last Q was a bit sloppy. Well, I end up having to burn flash. But again, the mindset there is looking for those picks. 164 CS by 20 minutes. I'm just thinking about prepping for next dragon. Come down here. Take the dragon. Make sure I hold your smite for 900 HP. We want to make sure we're smiting that. Rocketbelt into the wall there. It's a bit sloppy. Alright, so just looking to pressure with my Wukong. Wukong is a huge pressure point for my team. I just want to look to hover him. This is another mindset, especially looking for picks, you know. We can probably 2v3, 2v4 at this stage. So I'm just coming here. Looking to just play with my Wukong, who's, I mean, look how many, look, he's 3 levels ahead of, there's no one that can deal with Wukong in the enemy team. You know, Vega's 0-5. So key mindset as well, guys, is playing with strong laners at this stage of the game. Even being topside here for Baron. They commit to bot. We take Baron, reset. I actually do end up getting Magi's here, and then looking for Death Cap next. Again, that Morellonomicon just looks really dirty in my build. I mean, the healing reduction item there. Oblivion Orb. It just delays your death cap, like, a lot. Especially when you're building Magi's. So just, again, looking for some picks. Hold my ult. No need to ult there. We get the free kill. Holding your ult is also important when you can already get a free kill. But make sure, again, that we're just farming efficiently around. So do your camps first and then pressure the map at this stage of the game. If you noticed here, I did all my bot camps and then I moved up here, you know, and this is how we get really good CS numbers. I think I overreach a little bit here. Probably should. Let's go back a little bit. I mean, we have Thresh is dead. We have already Kassadin and Wukong in the side lanes. Yeah, I probably don't need to go on this. No one's showing bot for Kassadin, so this is always going to be a numbers advantage and not respecting Pantheon ult. So this slows down the game a little bit, guys, here. Luckily, we don't lose Dragon Soul for that. We come here just on the right time for Dragon. So, Fight's going to break out. We don't have Zhonya's, though, so that's something to really pay attention as well. Zhonya's actually does have a bit of a long cooldown. We end up getting Soul. Pretty lucky that I have Lulu ult there. But yeah, really pay attention to your Zhonya's, and then I think they just FF here, and that's GG. Alright guys, so hopefully, as we can see here, still really good CS numbers by the end of the game, really good kill participation, playing around win conditions, playing around strong laners, Wukong, and again, giving you a little bit of an idea around how to think about pathing more aggressively if you don't really have much to do in the early game based on your lane matchups. Alright, let's now move on to how to review with Diana, your games. So if you watch my content for a long time, you know that I love reviewing games. These are some high quality questions I came up with when reviewing my own Diana games and learning Diana. First one, biggest one here is tracking flashes. Tracking flashes is so important, and again, you don't want to be trading a flash with your R. Sometimes you sort of can, you know, if it's a key target, but you want to be getting those kills with your R. So sometimes holding your R, waiting for them to use their flash, and then you can use that second E to R on them. Taking low percentage ganks to lose tempo. So, you know, it's like, for example, there's many situations here where I said, don't do Dragon, don't do Herald, you know, just keep up tempo of your camps. From some reviews I've done in my coaching program, I've seen a lot of Diana sometimes. They just go for really low percentage ganks. Again, guys, you don't do much damage early game. If you don't have that set up, let's say if I ganked that Ziggs there in that last game, that would have been so game losing for me because they would know where I am and they could have also, you know, taken that crab and look to invade me on my bot camps. So don't do low percentage ganks. Dying with all your jungle camps, that's a huge point in failure of the game. You need to figure out, why did you figure to take that fight? Are you compensating for teammates? If you die and all your jungle camps are up, that's probably a big sign that you've messed up before you got to that fight. You've lost too much tempo on your camps. Did you have at least 80 CS by 12 minutes? Did you think about counter jungling the enemy raptors and krugs? We covered that a lot in the early game examples, guys. We've got to be getting good CS numbers as Dyna. We're not an early game champion. We suck early game. Make sure we're resetting for item spikes. Sitting on too much gold in the map. I see it happen all the time in my reviews. Get those item spikes, especially when you've got Rocketbelt and Zhonya's and Stopwatch. These are really key items, guys. And even the death cap when you're building the components. Even one needlessly large rod, the 1250 item, it just changes the damage you can put out significantly. Getting ahead in early game and just taking one bad fight or risky, greedy play. This happened a lot in my games. I would have good early games and then I just stuff up early game. Just because you feel like you can get a really nice R off, it doesn't mean your teammates can follow up. And that's why I talked about when I was going over the build section of Rocketbelt, is you really want to make sure that you're still around playing with your team. As we could see in my last example, where I'm still thinking about playing around Wukong. I'm just not just running around like, trying to be like a commando, just trying to kill everyone. You don't really usually have the damage to, just one-shot someone unless you're that far ahead. You're sort of like a complement to the team. You're like the engage. Check R cooldown. No R makes you significantly worse, especially, this is not so much relevant for the Nashor's build. You can definitely fight without R, but Rocketbelt, Zhonya's, you must have R. How you use R in team fights. Did you wait for them to group up to hit more people? Just single target Rs. We saw a lot of those bad examples in this guide. Did you engage too early, too late? These are all things you can look at when you're reviewing. Identifying how to play the fight, who you're engaging on. I really want you to think about who you're engaging on, what CC you need to dodge from the enemy team. Sometimes Dyna is so obvious and readable for the enemy team, they can just prevent and get ready to flash or Ezreal E away or Thresh Lantern or something. So really look at your team fights, the way you're engaging with Dyna. This is really important. Are you looking for picks? Are you taking them by surprise? Looking for flanks, all this sort of stuff. You want to really take people from surprise as Dyna. That's where your really strength lies. You can actually have the mindset of peeling your AD carries and stuff, more for the Nashor's build though. You sort of want to be like, the one side in the fight, but you can peel as well. The way you peel with the Nashor's build, again, that's more of a front to back. You just peel with your damage essentially. You're just doing so much damage, just chewing up their tanky, beefy frontliners. So these are some questions to help you review your games with. Look at the early games, make sure you're not falling behind, make sure you're not giving free information to the enemy jungler so then they can try and invade you, capitalize on you. Hope this helps, guys. Okay, so from my experience, my journey playing Dyna, these were the compiled list of champs that I really struggled against. Silas was my ban pretty much every game. Silas is like pretty popular sort of these days in the mid lane and stuff. He just takes your ult, which is really useful, and you sort of just can't fight with him. Again, I don't really build healing reduction. He can jump away from your Q, dodge, or E. And whenever you try and fight with him, he just heals up and just kills you. So, and he just gets a free early game because you can't do much. So Silas was my go-to ban. Other champs, Olaf, obviously self-explanatory. Your ult does nothing to him. Rek'Sai absolutely destroys your early game. So all these are early game champs. Xin Zhao is very popular right now. Xin Zhao just destroys you early game. Volibear, same thing. He can have early game presence and he gets his ult. He's actually pretty tanky and, can avoid that CC from your ult. But, Divine Sandra, he just out-damages you so hard with his item spike. Kha'Zix is annoying because he's so hard to hit with your ults and so many stealths, and you sort of can't really punish him early that game that much. Gwen, sort of just really hard to kill as well. At the end of the day, you're sort of a melee champion. You go all in. Gwen can just turn fights really well. Same with Jax. Jax, you do a lot of auto attacks. Jax hard counters the Nashor's build really hard. Didn't like playing against Jax. And obviously, Lulu's really good, polymorph, and she can counter engage you really well. Maybe I could chuck Janna in here as well for counter engage. I feel like you can just play around her tornado, her ult, if you really think about it. But Lulu is obviously really annoying. She can just deny all your bursts. You need to play around it. Same with exhaust as well, guys. That's really, pay attention to exhaust, because if they exhaust you and you go all in, you just do no damage. So I've also put that as like a hard to play against thing as well. So here's a list. There's many more champs. These are the champs that I found I struggled the most with. Junglers, laners, supports. these are the champs that I would be like, I wouldn't dodge or anything, but it's like these games are a little bit harder. I need to be very cautious in the early game, especially versus champs like the Olaf, Rek'Sai, and Xin Zhao. Moving on to a more advanced section of Diana. These are, I said, advanced combos / tips. They're more advanced tips. They're not really combos. The key one I want to highlight here is the triple E. I'm going to explain to you how that works because we covered that around the blue side, sorry, the red start leashless clear, where you want to double camp the blue and the Gromp. And also, you can also do the triple E for the clear on the blue side leashless on the Krugs at the end. So these are some tips here around, how you can take your Diana to the next level. Okay, so let's take a look at an example of the triple E combo in action, and then we'll explain how it works. One E, two E's, and we still have our third E available. So let's just take a look at that again. Throw Q, Mr. E, E, and then we still have a third Q available. Okay, so the reason that this works this way is that, as we know from the QE combo, is you can E before the Q lands and it will still reset. The way the Moonlight works is that it always will tag the target at the end with the Moonlight of it. So if you do it fast enough, you can get a reset and then still have that E still available for the Moonlight target. So if you do this slow enough, you got to do it really, really fast, guys. If you do it too slow, as I think we'll see here in an example, it won't reset, even though it looks like I'm doing the same thing. So as you can see, I'm throwing the E, and then the Moonlight already landed on this, and then it's too late. I don't have the cooldown on, I don't have the Moonlight on this. I mean, it did reset, but obviously I can't triple E. So you got to do it really fast. Again, let's look at some examples. Bam, still got that. So this is very useful for doing that, again, the blue Gromp together. I use the triple E, and you can also do, I didn't do it in the example, but you can also do this for the Krugs as well. The mini Krugs, where, they're both up, and then, you can line them up, and then, you Q, but you got instantly E to this one, and then you can, go to the other one. That will be targeted with Moonlight. So this is actually pretty useful. Obviously, target's going to be lined up, all that sort of stuff. I didn't really use this much, but just knowing that this, especially for the blue clearing the blue and the Gromp at the same time is very helpful. So that's the triple E combo, guys. Practice it in practice tool. Once you understand really how the concept works, it becomes a lot easier to grasp. So that's 1 E, 2 E's, and then you can come there and you do your third E and you can get ult. So you can just jump all over the place. Again, you've got to do that E really, really, really quickly. Alright, next combo here, guys, is the R flash. So the reason, there is a big difference between R flash and flash R. The reason is that R flash is harder to react to from the enemies. Let me show you some examples. So here, I press R and then I flash. And as you can see, that instantly, sucks them into your R. If you see there, if I flash R, let's look at that again, it's way slower and they can react to it. They can flash way easier. There's that. Super slow, right, guys? Versus if you look at the other one, there, then that's way faster. So it's sort of like just doing that, make sure the enemy team doesn't react to it. Same thing's going to apply with your Q here, guys. So you could do flash Q, but it's so easy for the enemy team to react to. If you throw your Q and then flash it, if you do it fast enough, it actually extends the range of your Q as well. So let's look at an example of that. Let's make sure we're going to the start of the clip. So there's the distance of Q. I threw the same Q at the same location and then it still hits. But I threw Q before flash. There's the Q. I threw the Q and then flash and then it hits. And then that's what a flash Q looks like. It's super slow. They can react to it way easier, right? So you still close that distance as we can see, and it's harder to react to for the enemy team. Same philosophy as the R flash. The next one here is same sort of principle with the E flash. You can buffer your E, and instead of just doing flash and then E to the target, it's a little bit slower. So I'll show you an example here. It's going to look way more smoother. So this is E flashes. So that's just an E flash. I'm spamming E on the target, and then I'm just pressing flash on it instantly. So basically what I'm doing is I'm spam clicking, even though I'm not in range for E, you spam click the target, E, 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 and then flash, and it's going to be way quicker rather than flash then E. I think I show a flash E. There's a flash E. And as we see, that's way quicker. So let's look at that again, guys. So this, it's just this microsecond. It's just faster. So that's the E flash. And that's flash E. So as you can see, it is slower. All right, next thing here is queuing for vision. So your queue gives vision, super simple thing. This is good for face checking brushes. As we can see there, that gives us vision of the brush. So this is good for just running around the map and checking areas, especially over the wall and stuff for situations like this. If people are camping, throw in there, as we can see, we get vision, all that sort of stuff. Next one, this is very, very practical, is how to E over Dragon and Baron War. So the way you E over Dragon War is look at these stones, these 3 stones here, and then you want to walk not so much this direction, but then more to like this stone here. So you want to be sort of more hugging, so like around there, and then you can throw the Q and then E, you can make it over. Practice this in practice tool, guys. Same sort of thing applies for Baron. It's like in between these 2 plants. If you have like I don't know if you have certain terrain options on. It's actually the stone in between these 2 like green patches. These 2 green patches around here. Let's see if I can actually get there. So these 2 patches here, it's like here, but like a little upwards again. So let's just look at the position. So around, this pillar here, so like this one here, in between these plants, but sort of closer to the blast cone. And then you can throw the Q and, E, and then, smite, still alt. You can do lots of good stuff with that. All right, so these are some more advanced tips. The biggest one I want to take away is the triple E. That's going to help your clearing a lot with the blue Gromp. Gets you that extra 1 second off or so. Let's now jump into Q&A. Okay, so questions here from my YouTube community. First one here, I didn't actually cover in the build section. When do I build Magi's? So you'll usually want to build this. It sort of depends on your Dark Seal stacks. Definitely build Rocketbelt first if you go on the Rocketbelt build, and then you can get Magi's after. Get that stopwatch in there. I really like getting stopwatch because that just, again, complements that kit. Makes you win that 13, 14-minute dragon fight. When you start playing Diana, probably this is for more experienced players, you're sort of going to get a feel. It's like, how's the game going? Am I going to die? Is it going to be useful? If you're really far ahead, snowballing with it helps a lot. But I don't view Magi's like I do for Eve, where Eve, you really don't have to die at all, really. Because, you can just sort of just stealth, and your ult's sort of like a damage and defensive ult at the same time, versus Diana's like purely like aggressive. So I found myself not building it that much. You can build it. This is when, I think, if you're more experienced with Magi's. I wasn't that confident in building it with, I've only got like 80 games on Diana at the moment. So question here from Mikkel. How does Diana feel in different roles relatively to her team comp? For example, is she blind pickable? How would you play if the enemy counter picks tank and enchanters and you're not snowballing? So, is she blind pickable? I'll answer that question. Yeah, we've seen that a lot in pro player. She sort of is, because she's just a really good jungler. I think she's just an overall really good jungler. She's just always that engaged. Even if, you don't want to be getting behind. We've got to review that. I don't really like the questions like if you're not snowballing. If you're just even, you're strong as Diana. As long as you got the Rocketbelt, the stopwatch, the ult, you can always make plays with Diana. That's the best part about her, is that she can just feel that like engage really, really well. She can just start a fight. To answer your question here, enemy counter picks tanks. Just go the Nashor's build. Nashor's Riftmaker. There you go. Problem solved. Enchanters, they're fine. Lulu a little bit annoying and stuff, but you can just engage, just one shot, group them up with their AD carry. So again, Diana, Engager, the Rocketbelt Zonya's build, I like most consistently for her. You're always useful there in any team composition, but make sure you're playing towards strong sides. You sort of need to have follow up as well, because you can't really rely to just one shot people unless you're that far ahead, you're snowballing. Next one here is from Isaac. What will be your mindset playing a Diana in Master Plus games? That is, would your main strategy with Diana be different in higher league compared to lower league? Yes. A lot of the examples that I had in this guide, Isaac, were, D1 master tier games. I didn't really play on my main like 400, 500 LP, but same thing applies. I'm looking to skip my camps a lot more to pressure, help, counter gank. In lower elo, I'll probably be going the Nashor's Riftmaker build, gold, silver, platinum, just to just power farm, just hard carry, because that's more of a hard carry build. But again, overall, I think higher elo, it's much more consistent, better to go Rocketbelt, Zonya's build to just utilize her kit. You're just there for the engage because you're going to have strong teammates, as well. But, you can still play that build in lower elo as well. I think that's actually the really core way to play her. I think that's her kit. Like, let's say if Nash's Riftmaker got nerfed a little bit, then I'll just probably never go that and just really stick to the Rocketbelt Zonya's build. So to answer your question there, Isaac, I'll probably be skipping camps a lot more in higher elo because I need to really pressure and help my team versus I can just carry because people don't really close out games in lower elo. So you can just go the Nash's Riftmaker build. Next one here is from Georgie. Says, one thing I struggle with Dyna is playing against tanky tops. You're an assassin, but you have a good engage and poor disengage. Unlike, for example, Kha'Zix, Kayn, or Eve with her ult and potential visibility, seems like she isn't a good pick if you don't kill potential carries after skill shots used. Yes, I mean, so to play against tanky comps, you problem solve, go the Nash's Riftmaker build. But if you're if you don't kill potential carries after your skill shots used, I mean, it's like, well, that's what you want to be playing and landing your ult to do that, so that sort of question, sort of like, don't expect to win the game, obviously, if you've used all your abilities and you haven't really killed their carries yet, So that's gonna depend when you're reviewing. Did you get a flank? Did you take him by surprise? Was it really predictable? Did you, were you not patient on your R? Did you engage too late, too early? All those high quality questions we asked in the review section. But yeah, problem solved there if you're against tanky comps, Nash's Riftmaker. Next question's here from Medical. Student best ganking angles on her since she doesn't have any reliable CC and her burst damage is low earlier on. You got to choose your ganks really wisely early game. Make sure, as you said, you don't do much damage. Lane ganking is also very good with her. You can come in, you can Q the minion, walk through, do that second E and then ult, your flash as well to gap close. But you sort of got to have your ult in that situation. To be honest, ganking angles is like, you sort of have so much gap close potential. It's like either you're going to get on them and they're going to die or you're not going to kill them. Based again, especially early game, how you just do no damage with your full combo. So, yeah, I would say that not really. I don't really think too much about ganking angles. I mean, flanking's good. I mean, just running at them and just QE. Hit the QE, hold it sometimes. That's just the way to go, Do that Q flash that we talked about. Badal says, should Dyna be one to engage fights or is she more of a cleanup? How does her mindset identity differ to, say, Eve, Rengar, Kha'Zix? So, Eve, Rengar, Kha'Zix, you're looking to sort of like... Those sort of champs, in a way, have ways to get out. Like, Rengar can even get out, with his W and run away. With Dyna, you just got to be really careful with your fights that you choose. That's why I talk about, you can get into a situation where you're getting leads as early game as Dyna, and you're just taking really bad fights. Your teammates aren't in position. You got to really look at where your teammates are. Yes, I do think I think that's her strength and why we're seeing her in pro play is because she's such a reliable, beautiful engage. She's just the engage. She just starts the fight. People have to burn flashes, use Zonya's. That the cleanup, she's not a cleanup. The cleanup is more for the Nash's Riftmaker. I wouldn't call her a cleanup champion at all. She's an engaged champion. Alan says, what are the different type of ideal first recall purchases? I sort of covered this in the guide section. If you have like 800 gold, go Amp Tome and Dark Seal. If you have 1100 gold, just straight up build Hextech Alternator and you can just sort of just skip Dark Seal if you based on your next buys. If you have, you can also maybe go the Blasting one. I didn't really experiment with this, but if you have 850 gold, instead of going the Amp Tome Dark Seal, you can go the Blasting one if you're not really confident in Dark Seal and Dark Seal and getting Magi's and stuff, mate. I think that's more for really high elo. I think getting Dark Seal every game is good across and just solo queue in general. So Amp Tome, Dark Seal, Hextech Alternator. If you're going to the Nash's Riftmaker build, buying the attack speed item to just keep powering through your jungle, is the way to go. The full attack speed item, not the little daggers, whatever they're called. The 1,000 gold one. Our next question here is, what is the biggest mistake or misunderstanding you made about her when first picking her up? It was the QE. I was viewing the E as just a gap closer versus you view the Q as the gap closer. The Q is sort of like the leasing Q, but it's much easier to hit than leasing Q. I was really scared to throw my Q a lot when I first started picking her up. Next thing as well is that you got to be your ults are everything. You got to make sure you're picking the right ults. Be patient. Make sure you're hitting multiple targets with your ult. Don't just do one person ult in team fights. It's really useless unless you're looking for a pick. But then obviously that's not a team fight happening. What are the biggest advantages she has over meta junglers? She's able to power. This is the key thing. I mean, her level 4 clear is just beautiful. She's pretty mobile around the jungle. She can clear, and she's, you know, relatively strong in fights. You know, skirmishing. You go Conqueror. That's why Conqueror I think is so effective with her, in terms of not so much like starting a fight, but like you can come clean up very well. I mean, she's very mobile. So mobility in League of Legends is just great. And the biggest advantage is she's just her reliable engage. I mean, that's again, she's just such a good engage champion. Does her build impact her playstyle in a way? Should we stick to a single build or situational? Situational, like as I've explained in this build, in this guide, you go Nashor's or Riftmaker or the Rocketbelt Zhonya's with Cosmic Insight. Versus tanks versus overall just strength of kit. A says, what's Diana's champ identity on the fundamental level? How's she supposed to destroy the Nexus? What is unique about her among all other champions? Looking for those fights mid-game around those objectives. I mean, team fighting is really what it comes down to League of Legends. She's just such a good team fighter. Just one of the best in the game. So that's how you close out games, just winning team fights. And minimizing early game and making sure we get into that situation where we're able to team fight. Next question here is from Indie Boy. How do you use R efficiently? Patience. Thinking about, you got to visualize before the fight happens how you're going to use your R, who you engaging on, who has flash. That's the key thing, tracking flashes, Indie Boy. That's a big thing we covered on in this guide. All right, that wraps up our Q&A. I just want to do a special mention, special thanks to people that helped me create this guide. These are all members from my Soul 2 coaching program. Leo, who's pretty much the Dyna one trick in our program. He's Diamond 1 EUS, almost Master Tier actually. He helped me a lot picking up the champion. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be getting this guide out as soon as I did. Bryson for supplying some footage with the clear. He was the example of the bag clear. Philip was the example of the bag clear with the blue. Calvin for sending me the Tarzan clip. And Jesse, I played against Jesse in one of those Zac games. And he sort of taught me a little bit more how to play against tanks, since he's like a bit of a Zac one trick. All right, guys. That's it for this guide. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below. I'll try and respond to all comments. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to learn about my coaching program, just go to my website, soul2.gg. There's a link in the description. And I can maybe help you learn Dyna a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.